Hello everybody, in Dog601, Rondry here, and here I am joined by...
Zane Reborn! I forgot to check. Are you actually looking at me?
I think you're looking at me.
You're pointing off in the distance.
Oh.
Not on my screen.
But on my
Yeah,
screen
but
it is.
Okay, so
Wait.
who am I looking at now?
Me.
Okay, good. So I can only look at Orca. Where's Indominus? Is he like past you?
No, he's to the other side. Zane's always
But-
in the middle.
But
Indominus
I was doing this, I was pointing at him.
No,
Wait.
you're not.
Okay, he's over here
Point the
now?
other way. Point towards your light source. There you go. And then you're pointing at Zane.
It doesn't matter. Here I am joined by...
Oh, me. Zane Reborn! Who is also joined by...
A friend of the Moser.
Zane.
Yes.
You're looking at me.
I don't know anymore. I'm just gonna look at Chomp.
Charm.
No, don't look at me.
Fine, I'll look at Plankton. Yes! Gaze upon my glory!
And a little indie film released this week that I think is called like Jurassic World Domination or something.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. The CG looked a bit primitive. I think. Little bit low budget.
I wasn't exactly a fan of the plot either. It was like there's like this whole thing about unicorns and dragons. It's like a whole other movie. I don't know.
I think you've been watching The Nine Realms.
Again,
Oh my gosh!
you're looking the wrong
every
way.
time I laugh, it doesn't.
Oh
pick
yeah,
up.
I have to look this way to look at him.
You have to look at your light source, so you have to blind yourself just to look at Zane.
And then over here is nothing, right?
No, you're looking at Indominus.
Oh, last time you said nothing. Oh well.
No.
How's this so confusing?
I'm on the far right, Zane's in the middle, and Indominus is on the far left. Sorry, I just realised what I just said could be taken out of context.
We're here to talk about Jurassic World Dominion.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Domination. The dinosaurs take over the world. The human species is extinct.
This is already a mess.
How do we begin? How do we begin talking about something like that?
Let's begin. Let's just begin with the beginning.
Yeah, who is your parents? We're talking about
What?
the tennis ball. Who are the parents? That's where the tennis balls come from.
How is this relevant to Dominion?
Oh,
you know, there's-
he's got a good point. We have to know where I came from.
But don't you
Let's
know there's a
see.
tennis ball in Dominion?
It's just a giant tennis ball.
It wasn't the locust. It was me.
It's just like tons of tennis balls just flying in the air.
I mean, don't you know, us tennis balls, we are great at like all forms of travel. You can find us in the ocean if you wanted to. Mariana's Trench. That's where we originate from.
And they're all just voiced by Zane.
That's right. The locust, instead of locust, it's just tennis balls going. Nom, 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 nom.
That would somehow be even
Waka,
more
waka, waka,
terrifying.
waka, 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 waka.
So in the beginning there was a bunch of like news stories. Basically, they just with a Dino Tracker they just reposted what they put in the film onto the Dino Tracker.
But before that, we had the Moser sequence.
Oh yes, we
We
did.
had-
To be honest, like
It-
Rosa was so not a thing. I completely forgot about that sequence.
That is like my main. That's like one of my main problems with this movie. It's just how they just forgot about. It's like after it escaped Fallen Kingdom, they sort of just didn't know what to do with it afterwards. They just sort of like, oh,
It's just in the
now what?
Thing is with Moser, I was kind of expecting something, and I kind of wasn't. Because before the movie released, there was a mini Mattel playset. It was basically a dock in Malta which had the Moser in like a cage in the ocean, on the play feature of it was that the Mosasaurus would jump out and eat a Atrociraptor. I was kind of expecting that to happen in the movie, but I also kind of wasn't.
I don't know why they wouldn't do it. That would have given the Mosasaurus something.
And the Atrociraptors, which we'll probably get into a bit more later. Yeah. The Mosa just appears for a bit and then goes away.
This is full spoilers. We're going to talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean...
Rexy dies.
Yeah, Rexy dies. Yeah, it's only Rexy dies. No other dinosaur dies.
Not Godzilla.
Tank ascends from the sky and blesses the lands.
Looks like Tank just blessed you because you went really bright.
I have zero control over this camera.
I've noticed every time you mention Tank's name, your camera does just overexpose.
Also, I just want to mention, I think I can tell which scene made Indominus scream.
But I didn't scream.
You sure you didn't scream at the very beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
the crabs. Mr. Krabs. Arr, arr, arr.
I was fine because there was a Mosa, something that I like, eating the crabs.
And the ship.
Yes, Mosasaurus. It'll eat crabs, little tiny crabs, but humpback whales? Nah. They're cool.
Yeah! I remember that. At the end, he's just like,
the Mosasaurus kisses a whale.
He's made a friend.
But seriously, that is in the context of how they've set up the Mosasaurus throughout every other scene. That is just dumb.
Hey,
but come on, it's cute.
Hey, don't diss my boy Mosa, right? I'll call him and I'll set him on you, right?
Yeah, on the Dino Trackers revealed the Mosasaurus is also friends with Orca. How does that feel, Orca? Because you're enemies with the humpback whale. So your best friend is best friends with your enemy. How does that feel?
Really, he's a bit of a spy, you know? He gets close to the humpback whales, goes in for a little cheeky kiss, and then he rips out their tongues for me.
Oh, okay, that gives so much more context to the ending. Yes, thank you, Orca. You've made it 100 times better.
I do really like that they finally used the opening for Fallen Kingdom was originally going to be the Mosasaurus attacking a whaling ship, but they didn't use it. And now for Dominion, the opening is a Mosa attacking a crab boat thing.
Finally.
And it just takes it down instantly.
It does a flip. This is where the fun begins. Another happy landing.
Happy landings. That actually reminds me, my brother gave a bunch of when my brother finished watching the movie, he actually said he wasn't too impressed with it.
Right.
Because he came in imagining everything he wanted from the movie, and when the movie didn't give him the exact things he wanted, he was pretty upset. But then eventually I was able to talk him through it, get him to see the better halves of the movie, so he can see that it's not as bad as he was originally saying. Although that didn't stop him from literally giving me a whole list of fixes.
Oh no.
Fixes for the movie.
Oh no.
When we eventually one of those fixes was that he wanted to he was actually not really a fix, but one thing he wanted to see is in future he wants to see some sort of I don't know, a whaling type of movie, like a Moby Dick style movie for Mosasaurus or something.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a spin-off. That'd actually be interesting. Yeah. Instead of doing a general Jurassic thing, just have hyper-focused stories, but in the Jurassic universe. So just a whole like a Jaws movie or a whaling movie, but just about the Mosa and the dinosaur.
I think I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my brother's gonna love hearing your reactions to that. Then
I would just watch it on repeat. I'd love the sound of it.
It's just because it's nice because it's a continuation of the Jurassic universe, but without doing something we've already seen before. Instead of Oh, what? They're gonna make another park. Oh, look, it breaks down. Dinosaurs escape for the third time's a charm. That's what they say, but not in this case. We made the Indominus Rex Gen 2.
My child.
It's literally we have a movie centered building up to Indominus Gen 2, and it's literally just Indominus Rex 01.
Yeah. Literally just recolored.
It's just like a giant version of me.
Oh god, the bit at the end is just you with your intro. Hello everybody. Like Chris Pratt's just looking up.
It's part gamer.
Oh no.
And I've just been up a T-Rex with my giant water bottle.
You chuck raptors at it. You don't communicate with them. You chuck them.
Thing is, it'll be new species of raptor. What's another raptor that we haven't seen in? I don't know. It'll be Utah raptor this time. I don't know, because they want to make like
Ambiraptor.
They just want to make a ton of new raptors. So right, so we've had the Moser bit, and we have like the news story, which I think I prefer the intro in the actual film than actually the
Prologue.
Yeah, that was going to be in the film. I think it makes a bit more narrative sense to what we have in the actual film, because the prologue, I mean, it's a bit weird because it obviously it ties with the end battle, and I do have a little bit of issues with the end battle, and that could probably help that side of it.
The prologue only really assists the ending rather than the actual story throughout the movie.
Yeah,
and then without that prologue, it's like you can definitely see in the final battle that there's just so many bits that's meant to like go hand in hand with that prologue.
Yeah, so many callbacks to it.
Yeah, because to be honest, the final battle feels a bit empty in a way.
Yeah, that's like my second problem with the movie. The first one being the utilization of the Mosasaurus, which, as Ben so gracefully stated, getting our full use of the Mosasaurus. My only other problem with the movie that's like a really big problem is like the final battle.
Dominus, did you just mention tank?
I didn't.
She's blessed you.
I'm using a desktop camera. It's literally the camera just built into my computer. I have zero control over it.
Okay, so like after the news stuff came Mission Impossible. Mission Save the Nazutos.
So Claire saves the Nazutoceratops. I don't know. You probably don't have much comment on that.
You only saved.
Shut up about my pronunciation. Nazutoceratops.
The comments are going to tear you apart.
Yes. Alright, then what happens? I can't remember after that. What happens next?
A Dino and a Nazuto just break a car.
Oh yeah, you know, like, because that shot was in the trailer. Like, I remember every single shot in the trailer when it appeared in the film. I was like, oh, that was from the trailer.
That might be why I felt a little disconnected from the movie. Because whenever something appeared, my content creator mind came on and went, "Oh, it's the trailer!"
I think that's why the Pyroraptor and the Quetzal scenes didn't really stick with me as much as I thought they would. Because their scenes were basically the entire trailer.
Yeah, no, the shot of the trikes and the other ceratopsians like ramming into those trucks. I thought that would have been in later in the film, but no, it was pretty much at the start.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't the inciting incident because that was later on with Eddie Sattler and the locusts.
Speaking of locusts, they played a bigger role in the film than I thought they would. To be honest,
Thing is, I kind of expected their role to be like this big. Because Colin said beforehand that he wanted like a global scale problem for this movie. And the global scale problem was the potential death of millions because of the locusts eating all the crops that aren't biocin.
Yeah. I feel like in terms of world building and all that, I feel like it works, but it doesn't really work with that, like, it's a bit disconnected to like the actual main characters in a way. Like, although they're doing I'm doing that stuff at Biosyn, but everything feels a lot less lower stakes, and in a way, like I felt a bit underwhelmed. That's what I felt, because like in the first one, you could see the whole park is being destroyed and people fleeing. In the second one, the dinosaurs are released onto the mainland. This one, Biosyn goes under, but it doesn't really feel like all that of like a big deal, because I know there'll be other tech giants. There'll be, I don't know. It feels like from the beginning to end, nothing really changed in a sense.
I can sort of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but that's not coming from a critique of, because I saw some critiques of people saying that, the dinosaurs are still in the world, but I expected that, because you can't really round up every single dinosaur that's ever existed, and especially now that they've gone more widespread and obviously into black markets and everything. So no, that would be impossible. And I like the message in terms of them just having to accept the dinosaurs as part of the world, and then them filling in their own geological niche, which I find that works. I think that makes sense. That's not the bit I find a bit complaining, and I've sort of forgotten what my original point is now.
Same here.
Honestly, a lot of people do go through that.
But if you rewatch it, it's probably there. Damn my brain!
I have some people complaining that the dinosaurs aren't really that important, since the locusts are the main threat. But I'm fine with that.
Yeah, same. Like, the locusts are like a primary example of what genetic power would actually do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because before the movie, Colin Trevorrow actually approached actual genetic scientists and asked if there was going to be a global threat due to genetic power, what would it be? And here we are.
Yeah. Like, I do like that actual side of it, because it makes sense of, that's the real threat, and, big conglomerate companies are just forcibly taking over, well, I don't know, like the food industry, which everyone relies on. But my main critique is it sort of feels a little bit disconnected from what the main characters are doing. Like, I know they were researching it, but it feels like, why is the Giga involved? Or, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, because I haven't thought about it too much. So I'm a bit like, it's just more of a feeling I get. If I probably rewatch it, because also I've only seen it once, so if I rewatch it, I might understand it a bit more, form more of a conclusive opinion, but at the moment it's just more of a feeling I'm getting.
And another reason why I'm fine with the locusts being the main threat is because this movie is about genetic power. Just genetic power in general. Like, the bad things that can come from it, and the positive things that can come from it. Because for the negative side, we have, like, all of the dinosaur stuff, and the locusts. We have... I don't like how Orca is smiling. And for the positive stuff, we have the stuff with Maisie's new backstory.
My brother... I watched it with my brother, and he cringed at that part. He's not a Jurassic fan, but he just went with me because I had no one else to go with.
At what part?
at Maisie's mother asexually reproducing.
I'm fine with it. It's just that it's so convoluted. It's
just a bit weird in a way. It's a bit uncomfortable.
It's just so many steps to get to the actual answer, rather than in Fallen Kingdom, the answer was more simplistic. It's that in Dominion, it just feels so convoluted in order to get there.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I just realised we haven't let Zane talk. It's just been us two.
I've just been sitting here in the... So what is your, thoughts? Is this new backstory, better for Maisie or worse?
I think it's inferior, just due to how much you have to explain to justify it.
It's a bit weird, because it's nice in terms of within the story, as in, obviously, it's showing the good side of genetic power.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like how they handled it was a bit weird. I don't know why... Like, I mean, her being a clone's a bit weird in itself, but like going through the whole like asexually reproduced or side of it's a bit, I don't know. I mean, it's more a bit weird because it's like it's what, a rating of a 12. I don't know. It feels a bit weird for more of a younger audience.
Honestly, I have how do I respond to this? Because you guys are just making good points, and I'm just like, yes. I'm not sure. I don't really have finalized thoughts on it. I just think like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah. Not really much to. This is like the one where I just don't have anything much to say about, because I honestly didn't give too much thought about it.
I think our overall consensus is it's a little bit weird, but we don't like hate it or love it. It's just there, I guess. Is that our overall consensus?
I'm fine with the concept of it. It's just that you have to explain so much in order to get there.
I think just the execution could have been better.
Yeah.
Granted, I think even though I think I was able to follow along quite well, actually.
Oh yeah. I understood it. It's just that it was so simple in Fallen Kingdom, where like, oh, his daughter died and he cloned her again because he wanted her back. But for Dominion, it turns out that she lived until 2017, I think. Actually, no, until 2007, I think. And then she couldn't have a child of her own, so she impregnated herself with her own genetically altered clone, so she can cure that clone of her genetic disease that kills her a few years later.
Well, I guess when you say it like that, then it is kind of convoluted.
Yeah. And do you know what I mean by it's a bit weird or a bit uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not too fazed by it, as in it's not too cringy, but I don't know, my brother cringed at it, and
Didn't seem like in my when I went to see it in theaters, I didn't see anyone else really respond like ugh to it or anything. It was just like
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I have no idea what anyone's thinking, because I'm not like looking around. Everyone's just staring at it with a blank face, and 90% of it is just children who are like probably like off when those bits are like looking down at the phones when the dinosaurs are fighting.
Oh, dinosaurs!
Giga! Yeah, that's basically it. So, okay, so shall we talk? All right, what happens after the Zotoceratops bit?
Macy goes to the lumberjacks, where the Apatosaurus just does its little.
Oh yeah, so
Hold on. Isn't it Owen with the Paris first and then that?
yeah.
Oh,
So
yes, that I keep forgetting that comes first. Ah!
And I keep on looking in the wrong direction.
yeah, stop looking out to space.
No!
Hello, void.
Bees!
So
Tank has come for me.
ascend. They're all in the woods, in the log
Owen
cabin.
Gravy.
Actually, I have something to say about the parascene.
Yeah,
right
go on.
off the bat. So, when I went to see Dominion with my family, we got these special seats that like move around with the movement. So then it was like when the para showed up, it was like all quiet, and all of a sudden, so then that just gave me a bit of a jolt.
You had like a seat where it moves with the movie.
Something like that. You know, not like moving, just like whenever there's like a helicopter, it's just like.
I just went to a cheap cinema.
I will say, I am really happy I didn't do that, because if I did, I probably would have been sick in the motor segment.
Yes, because as we know, Indominus got a headache somewhere in that segment.
It was specifically the Atrociraptor chase. But we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. Initially, I thought the Owen and Claire was separated. And I thought, oh, here we go. They're doing the separator, then they're going to go back together.
Yay, for the third time in a row.
Yeah, but they no, they
Here we
are
go
still
again.
together. I was like, oh, thank God, we're not having that same arc again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find it quite nice, as in, you know, mum, dad, daughter. It was quite nice sort of.
Yeah.
She can't. I feel like it's a bit of a cliche, her story, oh, you can't go out there, you can't go past the bridge. You need to be protected. I know what it's similar to. It's similar to Stranger Things. That's what I remember it from.
Sure.
That's why I was like, this sort of storyline sounds a bit familiar. That's where I remember it from. And there's probably others as well. So, yeah, and then we see Blue.
Hold on. The Apatosaurus sequence,
Mm-hmm.
because I just really want to talk about it, because it's most likely one of my favorite scenes in the movie. So people have been complaining that this movie isn't awe-inspiring, and I object to that mostly because of the Apatosaurus scene. Because that scene in particular, to me, it has like this feeling of grandeur as you just look up at this giant sauropod walking through a construction site.
Is it me or I think we've already mentioned this, but is the Apatosaurus bigger?
I don't know.
It feels bigger compared to when it was in like Jurassic World.
And also, I just love the part where they just take out a flare and lead the Apatosaurus away. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, I really love how the world is sort of adapted to dinosaurs in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it's like I find it quite interesting how the society has adapted to.
We'll get to him later.
Yeah, has adapted to the dinosaurs. Like even the simple like getting the flare for them to move. And I love like the we didn't even see the second one. It was just asleep, and he just got up and was following his friend. It was like, oh,
that was good. The way it gets up and the snow just falls off its back. Yeah, that was great.
Oh yeah.
I'll fully admit, the music is most likely the reason why I love the scene so much. Because the music was a reorchestration of the P-vine of the Apatosaurus.
Haven.
Yes, which is music when the Apatosaurus dies in Jurassic World. And that piece of music in Jurassic World is just like one of my favorite pieces of music, and just like in general. I love how it just reappeared in this scene and helps just like bring this awe to these giant animals.
Apatosaurus has a theme song.
Its theme song is death.
I am Apatosaurus. On about sort of the music or the sound. I mean, it's really hard to like just listen to it because I really don't like the cinema audio. Although it's surround sound, which is nice, it's also just feels like everything is just bass boosted. Or just boosted, like every crash is like just, and it's not like I enjoy a movie most when I have headphones on because then I can literally hear everything, and it's all really nice and crisp. With the music, I couldn't really pick much out, and you know, like the main theme, you know, the main Jurassic theme, that I swear that they only played it like twice or two or three times.
I was counting, and they played it 3 times.
Because I noticed they played it with the Sattler and Grant. And then it was at the end where the Giga fight, where it was all of them together. It was like all the characters together. When they all just grouped up, it was like a quick motif. And then it just stopped. But that's the only 2 points I can remember.
I can't for the life of me remember when they were, but I know they played it 3 times.
Okay. But what's your opinion on, like... Because I was half expecting them just to spam that iconic music out.
Yeah.
But, like, it's a bit weird. Like, do you prefer it having its more of its own original music, or I guess they did reuse other bits, but what makes sense, you know, with what you were saying with the Apatosaurus theme. Which I like. I do like when they sort of reuse themes for moments.
As long as it's not like Watership Down, where they play the same song over and 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 over
and don't
and
stop
over
coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop
Or
coming,
more.
and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Or a more relevant comparison to this channel, Dinosaur King.
Dinosaur King is what you wanna be, yeah!
Like, editing it, they use the same music every single episode.
Well, yeah, they probably made like 3 pieces. It's a whole formula.
Every single episode, they played the same exact music.
So what's your opinion on like the
It's
music?
basically to the point where we just have it engraved in our heads. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Okay.
So what's your opinion on the music? Because I couldn't really hear it because cinema audio bad.
Okay.
I like it.
The music didn't stand out to me that much because I think in my cinema specifically the audio was really bad. And no joke, I think it's the audio in the motor scene that gave me the headache. It's just like overstimulation at its finest.
Mm.
The only other two pieces of music I can talk about is when the Giga walks up to the group when they're outside the tower. They play the motif for the Indominus Rex.
Oh yeah. That's nice.
It doesn't seem like they gave the Giga a theme. It just seems like they hinted towards it with the Indominus theme.
I feel like they should have given it its own theme though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this actually connects with the other piece of music, because when they were scoring the movie, Colin Trevorrow was playing Dark Souls, and he played a piece of music from Dominion while he was playing, and it sounded nuts. The music sounded great, and I thought it was the Giga's theme, but no. It's just a piece of music for when the Atrociraptor is attacking Claire in the house. It's like it sounds so good, but it doesn't even stand out because it's not really emphasizing anything that special. You laughed way too hard at Colin Trevorrow playing Dark Souls.
I know, like it's not that. I just imagine him just like literally just listening to Jurassic music while playing Dark Souls, or listening to Dark Souls music. It's like the and thought, I know, let's put that into Jurassic.
He plays Dark Souls music to Michael Giacchino.
Wait, can you hear boss music? Da, 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 as the Giga appears. Da, da, da.
Oh,
Bigger! Why do they always have to go bigger?
Says, why do I hear boss music?
Imagine if one of them just said that.
Not one of them. Jeff. Just have Jeff say it.
I still can't get over how hard you laughed at Colin Trevorrow playing Dark Souls.
My mind went on a field day with that. Just
I like
all the scenarios.
I think eventually I just need to just sit down and just while I'm working, listen to Dominion soundtrack to see if I can pick up on any tracks that I liked. I played Dark Souls and I listened to the music.
Oh gosh, there's got to be comparisons to Dark Souls.
However, there are some.
There's
some.
The Giga appears has a health bar.
Hang on. When the fairy first appeared, was there music?
I don't know.
If there was, it was very subtle music. So it's like I think that's why I like. It's like the music, even though.
I thought it was something else.
Why were you laughing so hard?
Jeff
We
Goldblum.
said nothing.
Jeff Goldblum with the spear. It's a usable item.
Shut up. I will say it does seem like that it does seem like that the music of this movie does seem to like kind of have like a techno vibe to it, because I listened to one of the tracks for the Atrociraptor chase and there was a electric guitar in it.
I think the Atrociraptor chase is the only one that has like completely different soundtrack from everyone else. It's just like you got like everyone else is just like, oh, you got like cool action sort of blow up music. I'm trying to think of words to describe. Then you got like nice when sauropod's on screen, oh nice calm music. T-Rex is on screen, booming doom music. Atrociraptor.
Somebody needs to watch more Sideways.
If we're still talking about music, the only bit of music I found a bit weird, or the lack thereof, is in a lot of part of the Atrociraptor scene. There wasn't any music, like with Owen Grady on the bike.
Yeah.
And I noticed for a while there was no music at all. It was just the sound effect of, and I was sort of sitting there thinking, I feel like there should be music here. And then the music kicked in when the Carnotaurus and the Allosaurus appeared.
The part most jarring to me is when you like have the drone shot of Owen going through the
Street. The
No-
street.
not the street. The thing he's gone. The thing in between buildings.
Yes. What? What is he doing?
What's that thing called? The thing in between buildings. The
Alleyway?
the alleyway.
It took you the equivalent time of me getting up and closing the door and coming back for you to finally start that sentence.
Okay,
To finally
yes. What
get
were
the
you
word
there was no
alleyway.
music.
The most jarring part to me was when they were going up the alleyway and there was like zero music. But that could be a really good part for like music to like swell.
All I heard was just motorbike noises the entire time. There was just no music
That's
with
the
it
music.
All I heard was just a constant
at all.
because there was dinosaurs screaming constantly, there was the roaring of the engines, there was people screaming constantly, there was walls being destroyed, and that was not to mention the electronic soundtrack, all just stacked together and sounded like it was compressed on my cinema screen to where it just sounded like a constant.
Yeah.
And no joke, I think that's exactly what gave me a headache. It was just that constantly.
Do cinemas just work differently where you come from?
Zane, I think you just went to a special screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had moving chairs, right? I popped down to my
Yes.
local cinema literally in the next town.
You guys went to see Jurassic World Dominion. I
Lived it.
experienced.
I experienced.
He
I
was
was
one
in
of the
it.
Velociraptors.
I was riding Ghost. I was saying, "Come on, girl, let's go get him."
Oh.
You
So-
got hit with a motorbike.
I jumped. I was like, "Yeah, let's get him." We're almost. Oh shoot! Ah!
We sort of went on a bit of a tangent about music and I
Yeah.
guess mixing.
Now we're here.
We were talking about. Well, we were. You see, we were on the Parasaurolophus scene. Any more to add to that?
No, because we didn't really talk about it.
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah,
Blue.
Blue has a baby because she's part Komodo dragon.
But it wasn't Komodo dragon.
Oh, monitor lizard.
There we go.
These are, Komodo's just like big monitor, right?
I don't know.
Mind you, everything we knew about Blue in the film, sort of just we already knew from the trailer, or
Or speculation.
yeah,
I'm actually surprised. Blue, I'm actually glad they didn't just force Blue into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, she only, I think they learned from Fallen Kingdom the backlash of how she just has plot armor. So they're just like, Blue's had her time to shine. There's no hybrid to kill this time. She can take a back seat, get some vacation, sit back on a little hammock, and then just sip a coconut.
be a mommy. I sort of like how she is just like with them in a way.
But not with them.
Well, she's in this. I don't know. That is a bit weird. Like she's hanging around the same area, but could she technically go far, or is she technically enclosed, but just is like a nature reserve, as in?
I think she can just go wherever she wants. She's just, but this is her established territory.
Mhm.
Right. But I guess, that's the bond that she does have with her, and that's why it's near-ish.
Mhm.
I'm also surprised Beta wasn't, I was expecting, okay, Blue's taking a backseat, but Beta's gonna be shoved into every shot in the movie. But no! She was
Yeah.
also, there were many times where I just forgot Beta existed.
I feel like they did sort of forget about Beta for,
Yeah,
a bit of the movie.
She's I think there was just this thing where Macy just said, "Come on, girl, let's escape," and then she she just ditches Beta.
Like before it, I don't know exactly what they call Beta, but when they're escaping, I think I'm pretty sure Maisie just randomly calls baby Blue Beta.
She actually named it in the like when she was after she was talking with Wu,
Yeah.
she walks over to the cage and says, "Hello, Beta."
And he's like, "Oh,
And Wu's just like,
name?
Your British accent needs some work.
"Then you do it."
Beta."
No.
But you guys are British.
Beta. Beta. In it. Or oi. No. Maisie wasn't true British. If she was true British, she would have gone, "Oi, what up, bruv? Beta, in it."
I mean, she is Southern.
Oh, sorry. I do apologise.
She hasn't eaten a meal of fish and
She's
chips.
not from London. In it. Beta. We was like, "That's a name."
I just need to get this off my chest. I just love the scene where Macy just sticks her, just flips off Wu.
Yeah.
He just told a man who's trying to redeem himself to bugger off.
So actually, yeah, what do we think about sort of Wu in this film? I love his look. He literally just looked like he's come out of lockdown, like the rest of us. But like, what do you think? As in, like, he's had a bit of an arc, but I don't. A part of me is like, it's nice obviously that he's had an arc, and I think we sort of predicted this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't.
My family sort of unanimously agreed that Wu wasn't really, like, even in the past movies, he wasn't a bad guy. He was just stuck working with bad guys.
But
Yeah.
But like, it feels a bit like his arc sort of just happened off screen.
It does feel like a part of it happened off screen.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's where Brooklyn sort of comes in, like like in Camp Cretaceous season 3, the last 2 episodes. I think that's sort of where it started.
I will say, I was all for Dr. Wu like becoming like becoming good, I guess. But I was very hesitant to know what my audience thought about it because, as far as they knew, he was a bad guy in the previous few movies. And I was like, ooh, would the general audience actually accept this? But then there's just this one shot in the tower thing where Dr. Wu just steps forward out of the shadows with like his little equipment like in his arms. There were multiple people in my audience who went, "Oh." I'm not even joking.
I mean, to be honest, it's when you do see him in that state, you sort of feel a bit bad for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I quite like that.
So I guess they delivered. They delivered on that scene.
And that's the moment where I went, all right. This audience is up for it.
But no, I quite like his art. I just wish we probably just saw a bit more of it on screen. And then
maybe
either
Camp Cretaceous season 5 will answer that or something.
maybe.
Actually, it might because like the guy who Wu was with in like season 3's in it.
Interesting.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. That's right.
God.
I am happy that.
Hang on, sorry, I got a call. Hello?
It's Dr. Wu!
It's
BC1!
It's the Brad
Tank.
Blakes.
Tank!
Yeah, no, that was Dr. Wu on the phone. He threatened my family because we were talking about him.
Why? We were praising him.
I know. But I really like his ending in it. Like, with him, like, go through the cornfields or wheat fields.
Eradicating the bugs.
I only hoped that like that was longer and no narration. It's just like a minute of him just like walking out into the field while music plays. I just think it would feel more satisfying, just like if we got like just like a minute of him doing it by himself.
Yeah, he just sniffs the air.
I do like that he's, of course, on a positive side now. So now in like future media, I kind of hope he appears, just so we see like a more positive Wu.
Yeah. No more Mr. Okay, Doctor, we're gonna... It's like, it's the whole time, it's like, okay, I'm the big bad guy, you, Wu, do what I say. And then everything's going well, yes, this is all me. And then something goes wrong, it's all Wu's fault, blame him. That's basically his life story. And he's just, I think in this movie, he's just like can I stop being the bad guy now? Can I come with you? Good. Can I switch sides, please? Oh, it's like Knockout. I'm switching sides.
Doctor Wu is the knockout of Doctor Wu is the knockout of Jurassic.
I just realized there's a lot more in common than I thought. They both experiment.
This is gonna be juicy.
But we already have Monolophosaurus named Knockout.
Yeah.
When I came into this movie, I thought, oh, it's just a rescue mission to save. It's like Owen's trying to save his waifu's daughter, and it's just like, okay, sure, whatever. We gotta save Baby Beta, but I came into that's what I thought coming into this. But then it's revealed, oh, they also want Macy, and they take Macy. And it's like, okay, that makes way more sense because now it's a personal mission. They want to save their daughter, and then it's just like also save Beta if there's time. I can get invested in the plot. It's like, there, that makes sense. Also, another thing I thought coming into this was that, oh, it's just like they only brought the legacy character because it's like, hey, look, it's those characters you knew from the past. We're not sure if they'll do anything, but it's just like, yeah, they're here. But no, they actually work them well into the story. They're like,
I think they did.
And they actually find a way to get them to go to Biosyn rather than just Owen just randomly comes to them and says, hey, we need you to help us save some random baby raptor. Help us. And they say, okay. So this is like, yeah, Ellie's like, I need to find a way to stop Biosyn, and I need your help. And he's like, sure, I don't know. Oh, by the way, I got divorced. Let's go.
I feel like that bit was very pandering, and I don't really know how I feel about it. Because obviously, a part of me is like, yay, they're finally together, but a part of me is like, it feels sort of forced in a way, because it's very stereotypical for the main lead and the main woman lead to be together. Sort of broke that trend with Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler not actually getting together, but then they sort of undid that, and now they're together.
No, I'm not. No. I don't agree with that because it's like in the first movie they imply, like the very first movie they implied, yeah, they're gonna get together, like, and then they just completely undo that. It's just like, that's not right. So this one's just like rectifying that mistake. So
agree to disagree.
To be honest, I wasn't that bothered either way because I'm not personally that invested in the relationship between the two characters.
But still, I am glad that, like, that aside, I'm still glad that they managed to naturally work them into the plot instead of just, hey, look, it's those guys you knew from when you were a kid.
Is it?
Come watch our movie.
Is it just me, or was like Jeff Goldblum like? I feel like he was just funny, but just to me. Because I kept on laughing at everything he was doing, but no one else was laughing.
Oh no,
that's the complete opposite here.
My theater loved him.
Really?
Every time Jeff spoke, everyone erupted into laughter.
Yeah.
Really? Everyone was just dead silent.
I didn't know there was gonna be a password, and everyone just laughed.
My theater absolutely loved him.
What's like the best highlights? I think I remember the bit where he I think he was unbuttoning his shirt. And he was like, oh, he started putting it back up. And then I think the password bit where the what's it called? What are they called? Those amphibians. Or not amphibians.
Dimetrodons.
Dimetrodons. Are they amphibians or reptiles?
They're synapsids. They aren't dinosaurs.
Okay, but are they? What are they? Are they?
They're reptiles, I believe.
Okay, then the reptiles. Anyway, no, but that I did like that scene though with them. It was quite nice. I quite liked them.
Yeah, I enjoyed that segment as well. I remember coming in, I was like looking for I was trying to show my cousin clips of prehistoric planet, and I was searching up like Dinochirus stuff.
Oh.
And then I scrolled down, and I saw a thumbnail saying, Spinosaurus leaks confirmed.
Yes! I had that exact video recommended. I had that exact video recommended to me multiple times.
And it's like just a picture of like a sail in the water, but then I didn't really get a good look at it.
Yeah, same.
So I just thought it was just a sail in the dark, and I'm like, no, that's got to be fake. Unless
my thought behind that clip was I just spoiled the Spinos cameo for myself. And then I saw the actual movie.
Yeah.
Yes, the moment they're walking the Evermind, and I just see that sail just subtly going through the water, I'm like, oh, that's what he meant.
The person who uploaded it is just stupid.
Who's just
Yes.
But Dimetrodons were already going to be in the film. So how
Yeah,
did they,
we knew.
Yeah, so what did he saw a sail and thought, well, we know Dimetrodon's confirmed. I know, it's the Spinosaurus!
Because keep in mind, this person who uploaded the video probably has no idea what a Dimetrodon is.
Probably.
Yeah.
And also, since we're kind of on about, like, spoilers here, I just want to say that I had a few things spoiled for me before going into the movie.
Yeah, what were they?
Go ahead, name 'em.
While I was editing the podcast for Prehistoric Planet, I was searching Prehistoric Planet T-Rex clips, and
Of course.
and I scrolled down and I saw the part where Rexy meets the Sauronexes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Oh,
I like
I feel
that.
so bad because I watched that in the movie. That was complete. One thing I'm really thankful for is just how little spoilers coming into this. Like,
Yeah, I didn't get anything.
coming into this, there were a lot of surprises. So stuff like the Sauronexes, like I saw those Rexes and I'm like, wait, are those the Sauronexes? And is it like the buck and the doe?
Yeah, it is. Colin
Okay,
confirmed it.
Okay.
I
Oh.
didn't. I saw them. I didn't recognize. I didn't know they were Sauronexes. I mean, in hindsight, it makes sense. But I just saw them and thought, oh, they made more T-Rexes.
We will get back to the Sauronexes later because I do have something to say about it. The big thing I had spoiled for me, what was how the Giga died
Oh, of course.
by the T-Rex impaling the Ferra. No, wait, what?
You're watching a different kind of movie.
The T-Rex impaling the Giga on the Ferra's claws. But here's the thing: I wasn't spoiled for it by YouTube. I was spoiled for it by bloody Wreckraptor on Twitter, just like casually just retweeting a spoiler.
Yeah.
I want to know your
So
best.
sorry for that.
I want to know.
I'm like,
Go on.
Orca, were you spoiled about the ending?
No, nothing. I knew nothing about.
Okay,
Other
so
than the
Orca and I were lucky. Indominus, you have my condolences.
Yes, and even then, I realized, oh, since I'm watching so much Dominion content, I'm getting recommended a lot of Dominion spoilers. So, like, on the day leading up to the movie, I stopped watching Jurassic World videos, period. But after watching the movie, I watched, like, tons of Jurassic World Dominion videos. I got recommended nothing.
Well, it sort of makes sense because the spoilers or the leaks don't really matter now because the film is out.
YouTube. Yeah.
But a bitter taste in my mouth.
Anyways, back to the actual movie.
Favorite Jeff Goldblum moment.
My theater absolutely loved the two lines, "You made a promise to a dinosaur," and "Is that a dinosaur you've got on your back?"
Same thing. Everyone erupted into laughter.
My theater just like burst into laughter. Even my dad did.
Well, I guess that's what it happens when you go to a cheap movie theatre. It was dead silent throughout the whole thing. Genuinely. And I felt really weird because I was laughing at, like, even just him, like, some just characteristics of, of just him doing something, and I'm just, like, sitting there laughing. It was completely dead throughout the entire thing.
Everyone else watching the movie with Orca had no taste. How dare they not laugh at a single Jeff Goldblum moment?
I probably should have gone to, like, Cineworld or Odeon or something.
I think the one I like, the moment I really like, it's not even a funny moment that I like. It's more of a clever moment where he's just talking. He's like, Alan's just trying to say, "Hey, can you just get to the point already?" And he's just like, "Oh yeah, go get some coffee. Yeah, you look thirsty." And the moment it goes on, okay, I'm just gonna tell you a bunch of spoilers. Okay, and he just starts.
I
that was
love
really
that.
clever. That was really good.
He distracted the Batista or whatever. by just like getting by just sticking Alan on him. By making Alan just random up with technology.
I love how like seamless he was as well. Like as soon as the thing was going, he was talking about the plan and he was giving Ellie the key. And as soon as it went off, he was so good at like naturally going as if he was just talking about something really weird or something silly.
That was just so good.
Yeah.
My absolute favourite, but I've already mentioned it, is the jump into the Giga.
That's right.
The Giga breathed fire.
I love that. The Giga literally turned into Godzilla then.
I think the best way to describe that, I honestly thought Malcolm was going to sacrifice himself that time, or reference him chasing. I was like, okay, it's time for my heroic sacrifice. I'm about to make a reference and also be the hero. Psych, you eat it.
But not gonna lie, it's a bit of a character moment. Like in the first film when he was doing that, he ran.
Got trampled.
He then ran, and then isn't that when he got really hurt? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he got trampled.
Instead of waving and then running, he was like, "What? You just yeet."
There's a reference to this in Jua, where like Jurassic World Alive. There's like a badge that you can have as your icon, and it's just the Giga's profile surrounded by fire.
No.
Yes. It is now my profile.
I need it.
Well, I think you're a little late, pal.
I feel like there was a couple of nods in that scene though. Like, because he went under the car. I don't know if it was just because it was similarity, but there were a few I would say there are a few references and callbacks there, but they put their own, unlike Fallen Kingdom, they put their own twists on it. Instead, like, he goes under the car, but he doesn't get stepped on. And, again, the torch, but instead of getting killed, he hurts the Giga.
Yeah, because, correct me if I'm right here, but I've seen a lot of people complaining that this movie, like, heavily relies on nostalgia, but...
I don't see it. I don't see
Same here.
The only one where it feels like, because again, it's just like they give us callbacks, but they give us twists on those callbacks, and even then, most of them are subtle. The only ones I can really recognize are those ones we mentioned, and when Dotson dies, which is
the Barbasol twist, which was there for literally no reason.
Yeah, that's the only one that feels like, oh, that's just kind of forced.
Yeah, but I guess it's trying to connect him to where he was in the first movie, but we'll definitely get to him later. Oh boy. But yeah, the only on the nose one was that waving one, but they did a bit of a psych with the...
I will be honest, I kind of would have liked it if he, like, sacrificed himself to save him from the Giga by doing that. Because in Jurassic Park, when Ian took out the flare, it was like a brief moment of him being heroic. Just like the one time of him putting like other people's lives above other people's lives above his own. When he attempts to sacrifice himself to save the kids.
At the same time, ruining Alan's attempt to get rid of the T-Rex.
Yes.
He solves the issue. No.
just like, I go through all of that, only for him to...
So I liked how Sattler was quite involved into the story, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it did link, I think, quite well to Biosyn. With the locusts and her just trying to get an article piece. And her bringing in Alan Grant makes sense because she said she needs a witness for it, which I think makes sense. And they've been through stuff together, so only natural. So yeah, I feel like the legacy characters weren't really shoved in or forced in because we knew Ian Malcolm was sort of giving speeches. I quite liked his introduction with his speech as well.
I will say, I was actively listening to his speech,
Same.
and he was pretty much just saying nothing.
Oh.
It just feels like he was intentionally trying to, like, sabotage the employees.
He was. It was pretty funny. It was like, it's your fault. Basically. But I mean, he was basically saying, well, genetic power, extinction. Oh, which he's not really wrong though, because it was.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Where the Dominion. The name of the movie.
He said the
He
thing.
said the title. Da, da, da. Actually, what do we think of the name Dominion?
I'm fine
Or
with it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I like it.
I feel like in this modern age, if it's a remake, people are just feel like they're automatically inclined to hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like
I just didn't know
unless
if
you're-
anyone else didn't like it. But okay.
I don't. Yeah, I like it. Dominion.
Dominion.
Sure.
I like it.
Kai-Kai-Filu.
Kai-Kai.
How did we go this long without saying that?
Wait. I mean, we're gonna have to bring Jurassic World Dominion down a few pegs in its scoring rating because it doesn't have Kai-Kai-Filu in it.
Oh yeah,
Just for that one
definitely.
reason.
I mean, but that's a given. But then it's
course.
like every other piece of media doesn't have a Kai-Kai-Filu, so that automatically brings them down. So therefore, the same thing.
Even the original.
Can we talk about the Malta scene? Because we haven't mentioned that for this whole entire time, and I think that's probably one of the best scenes in this entire film.
Okay.
Oh, good, it's unanimous.
Sorry. Sorry.
While
Who's back?
while Orca's on the phone, I just want to make this very quick. I've seen a lot of people complaining that the stories are
He's
unengaging.
not here.
I don't. What are you talking? What are you going? Blasphemy!
But me personally, I was really engaged
him
with
then.
both of the stories. It wasn't like GVK, where one story like excited me and the other one bored me. I was like anticipating both of the stories.
Yes, I was on board with both of the stories. Yeah.
I have no idea what you've been saying because I've been distracted.
Although I will say I do prefer the one with the world characters because it has more of a emotional hook to it.
I
Still,
understand what
although
you're saying.
that being said, the park characters, they're like their story's more like so the world characters are dealing with a personal mission, but the park characters are dealing with a save the world mission.
Yeah. So, Malta.
Malta. That whole segment, oh, best part of the movie.
I loved it.
We all loved it.
Despite the headache, I loved it.
Yes.
I feel
Like
like
I was hooked the whole way through.
I feel like it would be best if one of you two sort of explain what sort of happens in it.
Basically, I gotta gush over it. Okay, so
Okay,
they
fine.
arrive. There's Barry. They're just walking through the market, and you just see so many different
Yeah.
dinosaurs, and like they're not like CGI. It's like that there were a lot of puppets in there, right?
Yeah.
That Dimorphodon, like and the Lysosaurus. It's just so much.
Morphodon like
That's
a
just so much
parrot.
to look at. Like
Okay, apparently, in the Malta area, apparently, in one of the cages, you can see a sauna raptor tail.
Really?
That's just
I can't
another
wait
thing. The
until
most
we get the film, and then I want to go through that and really like analyze it on the big 4K TV.
Malta's just one of those scenes where you can just watch it over and over again, and you'll always find something new.
I loved it from beginning to end.
Yeah, and then it's like, and there's just like you don't like. I want to rewatch it just to look at that baryonyx again because I didn't even have time to notice it, to get a good look at its arm because I know that's the one with the prosthetic arm.
Yeah.
And I was like really excited to see that one in the movie. I'm like, oh, like the moment I realized it was like the moment the baryonyx like ate him, and then we stopped looking. I'm like, oh wait, that was it. No, I didn't get a good look at it.
I remember how that guy went out. That was quite
Right.
funny. He was like
Oh.
a Carnotaurus in one arm, or was it like a
Lysosaurus.
on the other?
A herbivore,
Lysosaurus.
mind you.
Yeah, that's what I did
That was
think. That I was
evil.
thinking, why is the Lysosaurus doing that? But whatever. And then he just banged on it.
It's that his left arm was like entirely in a Carnotaurus's throat. Meanwhile, it's just a little Lysosaurus just at his veins.
And he's like,
Ah.
was it Owen Grady's like questioning him? To be honest, I don't know why he actually answered his questions because it wasn't like as if he was inflicting it. It was just the dinosaurs doing it. Like he could have just said nothing. But
Yeah,
okay.
but
Yeah, but it's like he could have.
Owen could have saved him if he told
Yeah.
him.
But he didn't, though,
Unfortunately-
did he?
Yeah, he didn't.
Time, the berry showed up. Oh my gosh, that was. And then it's also like I came into this thinking the Lystra was gonna be, oh, it's the cute one. No, it's evil.
I really
It's
like
evil.
with its like broken like horn as well. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah.
What's this?
The big
yeah.
Carnotaurus
This
had
one.
Oh yeah,
had one of the horns broken off.
apparently it's based off the original Kenner toy, which was called Demon Carnotaurus.
Well, that's why everyone keeps calling it demon.
Hence why I call it Demon.
So there's like all this stuff I'm actually surprised Rain died that quickly. Like with all of his I see his toys everywhere, and I'm like, oh, this is the main bad guy, and then he just dies. I'm like, oh, okay, he's dead. But then I'm getting ahead of myself because they're like, even before he dies, we haven't even talked like then Santos, she comes in with a crate full, like 4 crates of Atrociraptors. She's like, I've got a new job for you, and that's when everyone shows up with guns, and that's when it happens. That's when everything starts kicking off.
I just want to mention Sonia Santos just naming them Atrociraptors, just with her saying one word, that right there, that proves that these have been Atrociraptors since the beginning. Hence why we got the skull right. Because they couldn't have gone back and called them Atrociraptors after they've already filmed the scene, because there were no reshoots.
So yes, they began Atrociraptor, they finished Atrociraptor.
I do have a bit of a complaint with them though.
Go on.
The fact that that's the only thing we get of them.
Yeah.
So what's the point of them being in the movie?
The way I see it, kind of set up for future movies and for like world building.
Wait,
Honestly,
going on.
yeah.
So we've had like a whaling movie or a Jaws sort of themed movie with Moser.
Yes.
Now we're
yes.
having like a spy undercover movie.
Yeah.
And like the minions are like
Yeah.
the Atrociraptors.
That's another thing I really like about this movie's ending. It's opened up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know they're not going to do the fun route. They're just going to do like really basic. They're going to make a Jurassic Park 3. But
They've already made a Jurassic Park 3.
what's
I think-
up? They made a park and now they made a world. What's up from world? Universe. Jurassic Planet.
Here we are on our
Oh, wait, no,
Jurassic planet.
World and planet's the same thing. Jurassic Solar System.
Jurassic Paradise.
Jurassic Galaxy.
Galaxy, yeah. Universe.
I've seen so many edits of that actually. Honestly though, I do think like in future they should do something like Star Wars Visions. That would be I think that would be interesting.
I do want tons of live action and animated shows, but I think they'll need to experiment to see if live action shows would be successful. So I think they'll be better off doing a anthology series first, where each episode they're following a different character or two that had an encounter with dinosaurs. But basically imagine 7 episodes with different variations of Battle at Big Rock.
I imagine they're going to go
like Star Wars Visions, right?
Sure.
Well, it'll be more like Kenobi or something like that.
Oh.
In a way, they just have it's part of the universe, which is a separate story. But as I say, they can either do in 2 ways. They can either just carry on making films, but in maybe different genres, but within the world, which I personally would like. Or they could do more of a Star Wars route and have series and stuff like that about characters, or have whole series about characters. But I don't think that would work because
I mean,
Star Wars
they've
has
gotten
a
a head start
far
with
bigger.
Camp Cretaceous, though.
Sorry.
They've gotten a head start with Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah, but with Star Wars, there's so many characters you can explore. There's a whole, and there's 3 versions of it with Jurassic. I don't know. It's a bit
And with Jurassic World, there's different dinosaurs you could explore, and then just introduce random characters to interact with said dinosaur. Oh no, there's a T-Rex. No. There's a carnivore in my backyard. I need to stay hidden.
But that's going more for the other one that I suggested, which is having different genres, but is still in the Jurassic World, but I don't know, have a new story with it. As you say, have those Atrociraptors, but they could be I don't know, it could be like a Mission Impossible sort of film, or
Yes.
or a spy movie, but it just has dinosaurs in it for whatever reason.
Because it would be so good.
Yeah, I would really love to see like just another movie with those Atrociraptors, because that just feels like they're setting something up for the future.
Yeah, because that whole Atrociraptor chase.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah. We
Quite
haven't even gotten to that part yet, because I've just been talking about every other bit. It's just like again, because the whole multi bit is just amazing. But the moment the Atrociraptors start chasing, oh, so good, just so good.
But their entrance, when they just left where they left their vehicles and they just like towered over Barry.
Yeah, Barry, yeah, the guy, not the dinosaur.
Barry the dinosaur.
No, just the baryonyx. Hang on, there's a bit of a size difference there.
And then they're not doing anything until Santos points the laser. Then they attack.
Actually, what do we... two things. I like how they are continuing from what they said with Indominus... Indoraptor with the pointing, and then they go and follow the scent. And that's
Yeah.
Cool. Also, what do we think of that guy returning from the first movie?
What guy?
Is it
Barry.
Yeah.
Oh, Barry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very happy about it because to be fully honest, I think this whole trilogy should have been about Owen and Barry because of both raptor trainers. But either way, I'm so happy with what we got. Out of all of the like secondary characters who have returned, Barry's probably my favorite.
Because I noticed who else returned. It was the guy from Fallen Kingdom.
Franklin.
That's him.
Yeah.
And he
Franklin
wasn't annoying in this film.
He was actually useful.
And there was also Zia, who just appeared in the opening.
Yeah, but that's like, yeah.
We saw a brief look of Lowry, the guy who was in the control room in Jurassic World.
Wait, he was there?
He wasn't there, but when Franklin was showing Claire and Owen which people have like gone on to like become a part of like the dinosaur segment of the Secret Services, he flipped through a list. It was Barry, Lowry, and the woman that Lowry was trying to get with.
Oh, callbacks. Kind of would have preferred to like see him like actually there somewhere, but you know, not that important.
And also, I just remembered this now, but you were on about the Lysosaurus earlier. Colin has said that there was a deleted scene where a Lysosaurus fights an Oviraptor.
Oh. Who won?
We don't know.
Oh.
Colin was doing an interview, and he just came out and said, "Oh yeah, I originally had like a 2-minute fight scene between a Lysosaurus and an Oviraptor."
Why do I get the feeling the Lysosaurus won?
He did follow up by saying, "That's really when I let my inner 12-year-old go wild."
Actually, I kind of want to see, just now that he's described it like that, I kind of want to see it.
He has said that overall, there's 14 minutes of deleted scenes, and we will get to see them.
That's cool. Interesting.
Video idea? I'm excited for that. That's for another conversation.
Yes.
We meet a character there as well, the woman who flies the plane.
Kayla.
Oh yeah, Kayla.
We meet her
pilot.
as well.
Okay, hang on. Every time I just hear pilot, I just think to DuckTales, the character Launchpad. All he says is, "I'm a pilot." Oh.
Kayla only says, "I'm a pilot."
And then after that, then I think of Dinosaur King.
Jonathan?
No. How could I be worthless? I was the pilot!
So do we have any opinions on her character? What do we think?
We'll get to her when she actually... Oh wait, she does do stuff in this scene. That's right.
Yes.
It's her introduction.
She rescues Claire.
As the new character in this movie, yeah, I'm okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I liked her. Yeah, she says a nice purpose, and she wasn't annoying. Unlike other side characters.
She wasn't Franklin the Turtle.
Yeah.
Although later in the movie, she does say the name Pterodactyl, and I almost destroyed my theater.
I mean,
no! You
I'm
just
okay.
throw a javelin that's on fire into the screen.
Honestly, I'm okay with her saying pterodactyl because it's like, she's not a dinosaur expert. It's not like if Alan Grant said pterodactyl, then I'd throw a fit.
But she works with them on a daily basis.
Oh well.
Yeah, but she's not a dino nerd. She works with them, but she's not a dino nerd, in a way.
Hey, it's just like, hey, I deliver them. I don't learn about them.
Fair point.
But she is quite important because at the end of the Atrociraptor scene, which ends with them flying off to Biosyn,
and Ghost gets decked by a bike.
That was pretty funny. But I'm just so disappointed that there's nothing more of them. So it feels a bit like pointless for them to exist in a way.
Yeah.
But again, it just feels like a setup. So it's like, yeah, it's excusable.
We'll see. We'll see. It depends where it goes.
Hang on, I gotta say, because it's just like the Dilophosaurus in the first movie. It only got like a few minutes of screen time, and it became a fan favorite. And then we never saw it. It's just like...
Yes, but that goes for nearly every dinosaur in this movie. Like the Pyroraptor specifically. As much as I love there being a feathered dinosaur, and I really like the Pyroraptor, it's just that its scene specifically just felt unnecessary.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
So, hang on. So, following the story, they go crash land. Claire's like, what? Flies out and gets yeeted. Actually, no, Quetzal happens first. That's why they crash land.
Yeah.
What do we think of Quetzal?
I really like that they actually name a lot of the new creatures.
Okay, this is where I have to reveal one of my brother's things.
Okay.
Because he was coming into this very excited to see a Quetzal. And when the Quetzal did basically one thing for like not even a minute of screen time, he was furious that it didn't do anything else. And actually, he was also furious that the Dreadnoughtus did nothing. But it's like, come on, we don't expect the Dreadnoughtus to do anything. But the Quetzal specifically, he was like outraged. He went on a whole rant. But anyway, this is one of the things where he basically sent me a whole like paragraph of what he wanted from the Quetzal. So I'm just gonna read it now.
Oh gosh, here we go.
If you're
Sit down
okay
for
with
the
it,
video essay, guys.
Yep.
After Quetzalcoatlus decimates the plane, it chases away Pteranodon to attack Claire on her falling seat twice before scooping up one of the Pteranodons in its beaks and accidentally tangles itself in Claire's old parachute, causing all three of them to fall towards the Theri forest. However, before they fall below the trees, the Quetzal finally breaks free and flies away with its prize, while Claire unleashes another parachute when she falls under the taller branches of the trees, and the parachute gets caught onto the, like the movie. After Claire resurfaces, so this is afterwards, after the Theri moment. After Claire resurfaces from the lake, she tries to run away from the Therizinosaurus when he's not looking, as fast as she can, but the Quetzal returns and attempts to devour her. But she flees and shouts to alert the Therizinosaurus, who kills the Quetzal.
I think it might have been a bit too much for me.
Also, yeah, like...
For the Quetzal, I really like how there's just like a window in the roof where you just see the Quetzal's wings just engulf it.
Yeah. I like, despite like they couldn't really do much more with it, I do like that we see it a bit more in like the I say establishing shots, but like the beginning and the end.
Yeah,
like,
two shots.
I know, but it feels a little bit more in the movie. Like the Pyroraptor was literally just in one scene, which if you literally probably cut out, probably would be absolutely meaningless to the whole film. Whereas the Quetzal, at least, is like somewhat spread out throughout the thing. Obviously, I still would want more scenes with it, but considering it's not really main dinosaur, I'm okay with what we got, and it still feels involved because it was in the beginning and end.
Honestly, I feel the same. I feel exactly the same way.
I have no strong feelings either way.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I'm just... You guys are already moving on, and I'm not even ready to move on from the Malta bit because I love it so much.
Yeah, same.
Well, is there any?
Like, I have, like, at least two things I want to say. Like,
Yeah, go on then.
during the whole Malta segment, as it was going on, I was, like, able to pinpoint which Atrociraptor was which.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there goes Tiger. Oh, there goes Red. Oh, no, Red's dead. There goes Panther and then Ghost. Oh, no, Ghost is dead.
I named a raptor Red before Jurassic Dominion did.
I think
A lot of people have.
Probably. But, like, literally, I have, like, a toy Velociraptor.
Hmm.
That was the colour red. And to be honest, I named it red even before blue existed. But to be honest, it wasn't exactly, like, a genius. I just thought, oh, look, it's a red raptor. Why not call it red?
Yeah.
What was your other comment on the Malta?
Oh yes, my other comment is like something my mom pointed out. Why when Barry has Santos at gunpoint, why doesn't Santos order the Atrociraptor to attack Barry? As she's like raising her arms up in like the hands, put your hands in the air motion, she aims her laser at Owen. And my mom's like, why didn't she aim it at Barry?
Because then he
Advantage.
probably would have shot her.
Also, it was more of the advantage point. Like, because she could probably slightly do that with Owen as he's going off that way, but because Barry's probably more there, she would have had to go like, what? And been a bit more obvious with it, you know, like, point, hey look, go get that pussycat with that red laser.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. And then, there was also the Carnotaur and the Allo. They showed up.
Yeah.
The Allo ate 2 people. The Carno got nothing.
And also, while on about those people, I just want to point out the guy on the scooter.
He's an idiot.
But there's a backstory behind that idiot.
Is he one of the people who won the contest?
He was the person who won the contest.
Wasn't there 2 people?
I thought there was only one.
No. Oh, no. Chris Pratt said 2 individuals.
Well, there we go. And
that's why the Allo ate the other guy as well.
And I'm really impressed about this. Apparently the guy in the scooter, he was in America, and he wouldn't have been able to go over to Malta because of COVID. So, he was comped in.
Really?
It was flawless.
I genuinely did not notice that it was comped in.
I wouldn't have noticed if I wasn't told.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'm going to have to
show
relook at
how
that.
good the editing here is.
Do they just put him on a green screen? Ah!
Yeah, and also, like, none of the main actors, like Owen and Claire, were ever at Malta because of COVID. So instead what they had to do was build sets and expand it with CGI.
Because I swear I've seen shots of him actually going through the streets with the motorbike, but I guess that was probably sets, wasn't it?
Who the hell's calling me?
Dr. Wu! He's going for a
Wu!
No! He's threatened me twice.
I'm the only one left.
No, what probably happened? His stunt double was in Malta instead.
Right.
And there was, like, CGI face replacements.
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell stuff like that.
In terms of editing, it would probably make more sense like you grab this segment and put it back when we were talking about Malta. But I feel like it's going to be a bit of a headache.
Like me watching the scene!
Also, that sort of bugs me. Like, why did the deer just not move?
What?
The
deer.
The deer was just eating there. Deers are very skittish. Like, any slight sound, they would just peg it. And then the Therizinosaurus could sneak up on it. I was like, nope. Just slaps it.
The ferret just goes...
But, yeah, the Theros, like, action sort of bugged me, and I sort of knew it would.
Why is that?
Like, I mean, maybe because it's quite territorial, but...
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how everyone depicts Therizinosaurus.
I feel like it would be more to territorial larger animals, but not, like, something as small as, in comparison to, like, Claire.
Yeah,
But it's blind.
hold on. I'll get back onto that. But I believe the reason that I killed the deer, was that the deer was eating its food.
Yeah, I can understand that, but why go after Claire?
But because, as far as Farah knows, she might be after the food as well.
Maybe. Yeah,
Still,
I mean...
I actually really like. The more I think about it, I just really like the theory's introduction because
Yeah.
they don't tell you anything. They show you what it's all about. Like they don't tell you it's like they show you right off the bat. They give you a close up of its face and its eye. It's like all like mute. It's like you can tell. It's like there's something going on with it. It's blind.
Why is it blind?
I will say, I don't like that it's apparently blind.
Because
it's stupid. Because apparently it's blind in both eyes, and apparently it uses echolocation.
What? It does?
It's a dolphin.
That's why I choose to believe it's probably just blind in one eye, because I forget what the other eye looked like.
Okay, I mean, yeah. I guess... I mean, it makes sense why it was sort of clicking, but I did like how it moved, though. It moved quite like a pigeon, which I kind of liked. It was like quite pigeon-like with its head movements. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I just did not piece together that it was blind. Like, we saw a close-up of its eye, and I thought, oh, it's a bit grey, whatever. But I completely forgot about that. I don't know why I did not piece together that it was blind. But then...
I thought it was just blind in one eye.
Yeah, but I think it was a bit like it doesn't really make sense why it's blind, or it doesn't even act blind either. So what's the point?
I mean, it would explain why it just completely ignores Claire when she's in the tree, because it didn't see her.
Yeah, because she's on the side of its blind eye.
I think that's why I had an issue with it. Because I sort of thought it could see, but it makes more sense now it couldn't.
To be fully honest, in my opinion, the whole entire Farah being blind bit is just a mess.
Yeah.
Because why? Just why?
Why? So, yeah.
Okay, so I guess I came in here thinking, oh, it's blind. Oh, that's cool. And you guys are like, no, it's stupid.
Yeah.
You're just blind for no reason.
Oh, well. Well, other than that, they just show you everything else. Like, they show... Because for those who don't know what Therizinosaurus is, they show you, oh, it's aggressive, but it's a plant eater.
I will say, when it killed the deer, I got quite scared for the audience. Because I didn't know... Because I didn't know if they would show it eating plants. Hence making the audience think it was a carnivore.
But then it ate plants.
That's why when it ate plants, I kind of did like a little fist bump to myself.
I think it would have been a little more effective if they had shown us. I think it would have been a little better if they had shown us it's eating plants and then it kills the deer, because then it's like it gives you that sense of security. Like, oh, big dinosaur. Oh wait, it's friendly. No, it's not!
Yeah, I actually prefer it that way. Because initially I was a bit worried that they were going to portray it as a carnivorous one or something like that. Because it was just like, I don't know why. It just behaved like a carnivorous dinosaur. Like, I knew it was herbivorous, but I was worried that everyone else, more casual audience, was going to think, oh, it's a carnivore. But then obviously it showed it eating plants. But I actually prefer the order what Zane said. Big dinosaur appears, eats. Oh, it's actually friendly. Nope.
Because that way it's just like, oh no, big scary dinosaur. Yep, big scary dinosaur. Wait, what? So I imagine that's how it. But the other order just makes it feel
I think it's just more
effective.
down to preference.
The only thing, besides the blind thing, I don't like about the Farah is that they never name it. They never point at it and say, "Oh, Therizinosaurus."
I'm honestly okay with that.
Like, they name Morals Intrepidus, but not Therizinosaurus.
Well, yeah, they're naming Morals because he's talking about it, I think. But then there's no really real segment to say, oh, look. Because if Claire says, oh no, Therizinosaurus, the Therizinosaurus is going to look at her and go, dead.
Or how about, in the end, when the Farah is approaching the Giga, Alan Grant kind of goes, Therizinosaurus!
That could work. That could work, actually.
I really like the shot of Claire just crawling forward
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
as she stares right at the camera, and the ferret just like slowly following her.
That was a good shot. I like that.
That was really, I like that a lot.
She goes under.
To be honest, I didn't really pay that much attention. I really didn't pay that much attention to the filmmaking because I was taking in the story.
Yeah, same. Like I had like that moment. I thought of, oh, that was a good filmmaking thing. And then yeah, I was exactly the same. I was paying so much attention to the story, but I imagine on the second run through, I'll definitely pick up on more like filmmaking techniques because I did like that shot as well.
Okay,
Right.
glad I'm not the only one who thinks that was great. So now, the Pyroraptor, who was basically everything we saw in the trailer.
Yes.
As I said earlier, I love feathered raptors. I
Me too.
love that they included one in the movie. But to be fully honest, the Pyroraptor kind of encapsulates my main problem with the movie. Because, like, after the motor scene, it goes, ooh, calm scene, ooh, dinosaur, calm scene, dinosaur, calm scene, dinosaur. Like, to me, at a certain point, it just becomes, like, very overwhelming. It becomes overwhelming. It becomes overwhelming just to have constant action, like, every 5 minutes. That's why I think the movie could have been improved if they got rid of a few action sequences and instead have the characters interacting with each other, because it would give the audience more time to like reset from the last action scene, and so we can get more character development.
Yeah, which I think we probably need a little bit more time with.
Like, instead of a Pyroraptor, I would have preferred if the whole entire scene was just Owen and Kayla just like talking to each other and giving each other their backgrounds while trying not to fall into a frozen lake.
It is a bit weird. Like with Pyroraptor, it was like one step forward, two steps back moment. Like, look, a feathered dinosaur finally, and then they made it swim like that.
I'm fine with the swimming.
Really, I hate it so
Yeah.
much. It looks silly. It really does. It looks so silly. Because it's like, that animal is just so not adapted, just does not look like it's adapted to the water at all.
My main problem with the actual sequence is that it ends quite abruptly.
My main problem with it is just that they revealed it all in the trailer. So
Yeah.
by the time we actually get to it, it doesn't feel as impressive because they've basically revealed everything that we know about and didn't add anything new to it.
It's one of those situations where it needed like another scene or something. Either they needed another scene or it being somewhere else in the film, or just completely cut it out. And I think for the sake of the film, they probably should have cut it out and then given that feathered treatment to the
Atrociraptors.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would have made the Atrociraptor scene so, like, I already love the Atrociraptor scene, but then put feathers on them.
Oh.
Although there probably would have been like a animation issue, because keep in mind, if the Atrociraptors had feathers, you wouldn't only have to like animate a animal like running after Owen. You would also
I see where you're coming from. I see. You have to animate all those feathers as well. And that would just be like a nightmare. And then there's 4 of them. So that's like, oh. So I can sort of see that.
Would it?
Because you would need to take
into
account
how fast they're running and how the wind would be affecting the feathers.
Like, I know it's more work, like, I'm not denying that, but I feel like they have the. They probably did have the time and resources.
I don't think they would.
Or I don't know, but it's a bit tough because I don't know what technology we have. But but I feel like a lot of AI could have done that work. To be honest, it depends because it's just hard to say because I don't know what the standard is in the industry. Because obviously I have no idea what goes on really. But but I have seen technology stuff like that. But it depends if it was standard at that point. But yeah, but I would have preferred as you say, cutting the Pyroraptor scene, maybe do another bit of character arc there. Maybe with something Owen Grady, because Owen Grady hasn't changed since like the first film. Like he has like the most minimal arc out of any character.
That's not to excuse it, but I will say that it does seem like it's kind of a point. Because Colin Trevorrow describes Owen Grady as like the action hero, kind of like Indiana Jones, where he's a action hero who mostly stays stagnant throughout.
Yeah, I think I just disagree in terms
Right.
but that's a filmmaking choice. So but I think I disagree because if you want an audience to care about like a hero or a character, they're gonna have to have some sort of development.
Yeah.
Characterization. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of generic man or generic action star because I'm like, I've seen it hundreds of times in so many other media, and I'm like, I know he's not going to be in real danger. I know nothing really bad's going to happen to him. So anytime he's on action, although the action just becomes surface level. Like, look, he's running from raptors. It's not nothing much deeper than what's basically shown on screen, and that's why I'm not a big fan of that filmmaking choice. Like action, I think, is personally at its best when there's like personal stakes involved.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hence Macy.
Yeah, but this is where this is where they could build on that. Like maybe have they have a bit more of a scene of maybe Owen being a little bit more worried, like him. Or showing more of a father side to him. Because we did have a bit of father moment in the beginning, I think, and that was quite nice. Bit of family moment. But after Maisie was gone, he was like, he didn't really act like he was too bothered by it, in a way. I don't know, other than like initially. But I feel like maybe he could have opened up a bit more about like, how he may act like he's really brave and strong and, it doesn't affect him, but deep inside... it's really tearing him apart because he feels like, he's his dad. And I think that could be a very relatable moment for many other fathers because it's a bit of a stereotype with toxic masculinity that all men have to be big and brave and strong, show no emotion. But in reality, like, if a father's child, something bad happens to them, they would probably break down,
Yeah.
So I think that would have been a really nice sentiment if they included that into the story, and they probably could have had just, as you said, like a little scene, a little chat with, I forget her name,
Kayla.
Pilot, yeah,
I'm a pilot.
icy bit, yeah.
I will say Owen does get a bit of like character development, but it is at the very end of the movie.
I agree with what you're going for, although I do find it sad that the most irrelevant part of the movie is the Pyroraptor, especially with how much hype was built up on it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the one everyone's been wanting. It's the feathered dinosaur. It doesn't really do much.
It swims. Do.
I have been holding it. Oh, that you just reminded me. I've been holding this in. Life could be dream.
Life could be dream.
I actually finally know what you're referencing now. Because when you sang that song, I know it from Cars.
Yeah, exactly. But then somewhere along the way, it became Monkey.
And then
I
saw
knew
that
it as
image,
Monkey.
And then I saw that image when I was watching the podcast. I was like, oh, that's where it's from. Isn't that an advert or something?
No,
No,
it's a meme.
Yeah, but I swear that was from an advert.
I don't think it is.
I swear it was. I'm fairly sure it was. I remember seeing that on TV. And then, obviously, because it was sort of funny, I think that's when they memed it.
As for action scenes that I believe could have been, like, removed and given characters more time to develop, I know Zane won't like this, but the Dimetrodon scene.
Why? Don't you dare. Don't you dare speak this blasphemy.
I would have preferred it if it was just like a beautiful moment of a beautiful moment of the characters just walking through the amber mines as the amber in the rocks starts glowing because of the light from Alan's torch.
Nah, give me my sail, boys.
It's just that for me personally, that would have had more of an impact for me than the Dimetrodons.
I think I still prefer. I can see where you're going for, but I still prefer the Dimetrodons.
Right?
I feel like you could have had a bit of both in that scene. I'm not too sure.
Actually, yeah, you could have. You could have had a scene where, oh look, shiny, and then, oh look, the shine is showing there's an exit up there. Climb up the ladder, Dimetrodon.
Bah! I will say, when that happened, there was a woman. There was somebody sitting to my
Does she scream?
right. They jumped out of their seats. I think several people in my theater did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Was the Dimetrodon also a puppet?
Yes.
Yeah. There was actually, I could actually tell there was quite a few of them.
I did quite like the animatronics, but I think the only one that sort of bugged me a bit was Beta, because Beta did look quite stiff.
Beta is a
like
Muppet. Beta is a Muppet.
The only animatronics that bothered me were the dinos. Yeah, because I personally found the dinos to be really stiff, especially in Dodson's death scene.
Dodson!
We haven't even mentioned him yet.
Yeah,
I mentioned him once.
We're gonna get to him there.
But
I have a lot to say.
But in the moment when they're hunting down Claire, I was fine with it until Owen came in and chokes one and just chucks it. At that moment, it looked like a toy.
Yeah, but I love that. And honestly, the sounds, I swear I was like the only one who loved that. Because when I heard the first sounds, and I genuinely just smiled when I heard that again. I was like, because I didn't realise I just sort of forgot about them in a way. I knew they were there in the back of my mind, but I sort of forgot them. And then I heard that sound, I was like, and I just smiled, honestly.
I do really like the wide shot of Claire, like, running, I think. And, like, in the bushes, you can see the outline of the dino animatronic.
Mm. But I think, I feel it was a bit like cartoony, him just grabbing it and scaring them. I mean, I guess there would be a bit skittish, but it was a bit cartoony, just grabbing it, yeeting it. I think it would have been better if Claire did just run to the ladder and manage to get up in time.
Or, even better, have the Pyroraptor fight the Dilo.
Mm.
Because throughout this trilogy, they have been foreshadowing a raptor fighting a Dilo. In the first movie, we have Delta going after the Dilo hologram. In Fallen Kingdom, we have the statues of a Tiger Raptor fighting a Dilo. And now when we get to Dominion, we don't get it.
Oh.
But I feel like, how would the Pyroraptor get there, though?
That's why, instead of ending the Pyroraptor scene abruptly, instead, I think they should have done, like, they kind of, like, start to flush out the dam, and the Pyroraptor goes out with it, unleashing it into the forest.
Actually, yeah.
I mean,
I like that.
would it really survive that?
Also, another bit of a complaint is that why don't they spit? Like they spend they spend like a good 10 or 20 seconds just staring at their target, and they're like, "Oh, hello." They just don't spit.
Oh, hello there.
Like, I swear, they look at Claire for a good 15 seconds, and they're like, nothing happens. Like she's just like. But I mean, I guess that is a bit of a homage to the first one, because the first one's a bit like that. It's just weird. Like, if it's its main source of attack, why would it just not do it? He just stares at his target for a bit. It's just, oh, I'm taunting you. Yeah, also, I want to talk about, you mentioned about the structure a bit earlier. I forgot to mention that I think the first half of the film is pretty solid. The second half of the film sort of falls off a bit.
Yeah.
I think pretty much once they get to Biosyn, then it gets a bit, falls off, I think.
I still like it, but it does get a bit, with the pacing specifically.
Anyway.
As you've already mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
What was I saying before? Giga versus T-Rex. I think in that scene they were trying to set up the rivalry, but I feel like it just doesn't really work. Also, it confuses me. So with the forest, did they just have one big landmass and just not separate them at all?
Yeah.
If it's supposed to be a sanctuary, why don't they separate the large carnivores?
Because it isn't really a sanctuary.
It's just a place for them to live.
They just set all the dinosaurs loose, and they can't go anywhere because they're stuck there because of the snowy environment.
Yeah, I mean, but even separate the large carnivores, separate the Giga and the T-Rex. They're just going to kill each other.
I mean, they didn't.
Technically, not yet.
Well, technically, though, with large carnivores, I feel like it would actually make sense, because I think I remember seeing it from some documentaries that large carnivores would rarely actually fight to the death.
Right.
In the wild.
Yeah. Like, if it was over a bit of scrap of food, I think the T-Rex got it first, and then the Giga came. It's like, oi, that's mine now. They had a bit of a toss out, and then, okay, whatever, you're bigger. Which I kind of like.
It bit Rexy's nose.
Because not every fight leads to death. Because obviously a large carnivore is very afraid of actually being hurt, because if it gets hurt, it can't eat and it will die. So I did kind of like that, but I feel like that scene was a little bit. Well, when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's definitely their attempt at the setup for a rivalry, but I feel like it doesn't really work. I think technically the setup for the rivalry would probably work a bit better with the prologue scene, but it's a bit awkward.
That's again why
I wouldn't know
That's again why the T-Rex, the final battle between the two, just doesn't work without that prologue.
I will say, just for the Giga in general, it was innocent. It didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
Yes. Hashtag save the Giga.
Why did it die?
I mean, it didn't even kill anybody.
It didn't.
It killed.
Actually,
it did. It did kill something. It killed a bug.
Yeah, I think. Also, he didn't really feel very menacing at all.
Yeah.
Like
he didn't really.
The Indominus Rex. You have the whole setup, like it kills everything in the park. A bit like Monster Movie-ish, but
that's mainly because, unlike the Giga, the Indominus has a whole movie.
Yes.
Exactly. And then even the Indoraptor, although I think was probably in it as much as the Giga was.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Probably.
And the Indoraptor still felt quite threatening.
Yes.
But the
because
Giga
we
was
had a few scenes setting up, and it did get a lot of kills.
I will say, the Giga to me did feel like a actual animal.
Yeah, but it's like
which is why it just feels wrong to just kill it.
But this is what I mean. But like you sort of have to do either or here. It's like do we either treat it more like an animal, which I personally would like, or
Yeah.
do you treat it as sort of what the director really wanted, is a bit of a Joker villain? Then you have to give it its more threatening or chaotic side
Here's
to
the
it.
thing about the Joker thing. I'm like 90% sure he didn't mean it. And it was probably just done for PR. Because after Collins said it, a lot more people started talking about the movie.
Maybe. So,
Oh.
it depends. But, I don't know. But even then, it's just how it actually was set up in the movie. Like, it was supposed to be a big rival, but it's just an animal, so...
Yeah.
Just turned out to be a footstone on Rexy's stairway to... I completely lost train of what I was saying.
Oh, on Rexy's journey to ascension.
Yes!
Do you know what I think would be cool? If someone can, like, analyse the difference between the first T-Rex scene and compare them. Because, excuse me, because what I remember, like, Sorry, I just ate. The T-Rex scene, I remember that being so intense. And, you know, that scene's just such a masterpiece. But I would love to see, like, an actual comparison with that, with the actual Giga scene, and, like, see why that one sort of, the Giga sort of flopped compared to the actual T-Rex. Because I feel like the situation's fairly similar.
I think it's because, like, the characters can actually fight back at the end there. Like, they actually are doing things to hurt the Giga. Like, you know, again, Malcolm sets the Giga's mouth on fire.
I mean, I do like that bit. But even then, it's more of, like, the intense, though. Like, if you... That sort of feeling of, like, complete dread, like, you're really worried, like...
I think it's also, like, the setting as well. It's, like, it's dark, it's stormy, there's, like, no music cues at all.
Yeah. I don't know, I just would like to see a comparison between those two scenes and why one works and one doesn't really.
Well, maybe I'll do that once it releases. Do you two think the Giga animatronic was good?
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Because not all of it, it wasn't entirely a animatronic. It was only partly one.
Explain.
Yeah, but the rest is CGI.
The T-Rex. I believe the Giga is only a animatronic past the arms because of budgetary reasons. The rest of it is completely CG.
Yeah.
And it is flawless in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that was...
Well, yeah, I guess that just shows how far they've come.
Is there anything else that we wanted to mention about that Giga scene?
No, I think we've basically said all the highlights. It breaks the tower, and it... Uh-oh, what'd I say?
Owen punches the Giga.
Oh!
While the Giga is trying to get them, you just see Owen in the background, just punching it.
Oh, I thought he had a knife.
No, he was straight up just punching it.
I thought he just had a knife and he was trying to stab it.
He was punching it.
I mean, to be honest, if you're in that situation, you probably would punch it too.
Better than doing nothing.
I just can't get up with a visual of Owen just like far off in the background, just constantly just punching the Giga in the face.
Or the Giga's just walking around and just Owen Gray just following and punching his like calves or something.
It's like the Allura Titans with the amber canes.
And here we have Aaron Grady beating the crap out of the Gigantosaurus. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Shall we move on to Dodson? Dodson over here! Because we haven't talked about him at all.
Yes, because before that, we have the very important moment for Dodson's character when he burns over locusts.
And then sets
Actually,
the forest
yeah,
on
that bit
fire.
bugs me. Right. He built a system to burn them all, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But why did he make them like? Why was there like a ventilation where they could just all escape?
That's because they couldn't all escape. They broke. They broke out of the glass. It wasn't made for them to escape.
But how did they break out?
Because they went through the ceiling, and there was just like so much chaos that eventually the window roof eventually gave in, and they were able to escape.
Right. I mean, I could have probably missed that bit, but I saw that. I thought, isn't that just bad design? Because if you're gonna burn them, of course there's gonna be a bit of chaos. Like they're not just gonna sit there like. Just another day at the office, you know, just that meme. It was just the house on fire.
Is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, the locusts are not just going to sit there just like, this is fine, as they're like all burning alive. So you would have thought they would have built the enclosure to support them like going absolutely crazy.
I will say, I adore the visual of the locusts escaping, and you just see like this giant like swarm of fire just in the sky.
Yeah, and I actually like that as the reason why there is fire about the place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I was a bit worried that there's just going to be like some sort of
explosion.
Yeah, or like a lightning strike or something, a bit like coincidental or something. But no, I do like the fact that it was sort of the locusts, because they were quite heavily involved in the film. So
I do have to wonder. I have to wonder though. I get that they have thick endoskeletons that can let them last a little longer, but what about their wings? How do those not burn up?
Because they're protected by the exoskeleton.
Maybe also the fact that they're moving very fast.
I don't know.
Huh. I don't know.
They're moving very fast, so it might get found out. I don't know.
That's something my mom brought up. That like, how do the wings not catch fire?
And it's not subtle in the slightest, but following that, when the forest is entirely on fire, there is a shot where we see the outside of a window where Dodson is with all the Biosyn people. You just see all the fire just reflected in the glass.
Hmm.
And there's two red dots in Dodson's eyes.
Oh.
It isn't subtle in the slightest, but I love it.
I don't remember that bit, but the one thing I do remember about Dodson is his when he gets angry and he punches the chair.
He just punches the chair.
Not gonna lie,
Everyone punches.
like, although I like the reference to Dodson, but I feel like, I don't know if it's the acting and the directing, but he wasn't very menacing or threatening at all. So when he like...
that's where I bring up another thing my brother wrote. So, sit down. Oh, okay.
Just one more thing. And also, it didn't really need to be Dodson. It could literally...
like that it was Dodson, though.
Yes, but it literally could have been like any billionaire from like any movie, and it wouldn't have changed.
True.
Yeah, but then it's like, if it was in that case, would we rather go for random billionaire or vaguely familiar guy?
It does feel like it links to the older bit a little bit more. Obviously, it's not too well linked, but yeah.
Yeah.
But...
Granted, I guess to a casual viewer like my parents, or like even like past me, I would just look at Dodson and be like, "Who this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Like, not.
So that's just like something, a little callback to like fans, people who like remember that 1 minute scene with Nedry, or they read the book or something. Speaking of my brother says that Dodson should have his novel backstory mentioned in the film and be more aggressive like his book counterpart.
I don't remember his backstory in the book.
Oh, well, there we go. No one read the book.
I did read them. It's like
Oh.
it's that. In fact, I've got both of them literally right here.
Let me have a quick flick through.
And I didn't really read the original Jurassic Park book. I just listened to a audio book, and I'm really bad at reading. And and when I was reading The Lost World, I imagined it as I was imagining it like a cartoon. Like, like, there's a part in the book where the raptors are somehow like moving a crate by being on top of it.
And you're
What?
imagining.
What I imagined was basically them just like going and the cage just rolling. My brain literally imagined it like a cartoon. Although I do agree he should have been more aggressive, because in the Lost World book, Dodson pretty much tries to assassinate Sarah Harding by pushing her off the boat on the way to Site B. I forget why, but I know he did it. But
On the way?
yeah,
So right off the bat.
yeah,
Wow. No
but
one called him out for that?
no, because because nobody else was around, and it was night.
Oh. And of course, no one's gonna believe Sarah.
I mean,
She's dead.
as far as Dodson's group is concerned, she's dead.
Did he actually successfully push her off?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow.
Meanwhile, I have the feeling that the Dodson in Dominion wouldn't even attempt it.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
He would just walk up to... He just goes up to Sarah and asks, got any food?
Why was he obsessive? Why did he like food so much?
I don't know. I just
Coconut. It is.
laugh. And he's like... He's just talking. He's just talking, being... And then all of a sudden, got any food? Never mind.
Because with his character, he was alright for like the first half when he was on screen, as he was sort of
Then he
supposed to
punches a chair.
look a bit passive. You know, he's just trying to help, you know, with his genetic research. But when it came to that twist of, you know, him needing to be quite villainous, he just didn't have a presence at all. It just looked very silly. Like, honestly, when he was like getting angry, punching the chair, I just laughed at that bit. It was like, I don't know. I feel like that. Either performance or the writing, I'm not too sure what
Probably a
happened with it.
combination of them.
Yeah, but I feel like it was a bit like... Because I would have I do prefer like more a person villain.
Yeah.
Than more of like the Indominus Rex or Indoraptor.
Mhm.
Because it makes a bit more sense. Because again, I like to keep the dinosaurs as animals.
Like, we finally... Like, I think it's been like this. Like, we finally got our animal, like the villain of the villain dinosaur is an animal, but the main villain is just there.
Yeah.
He did not carry it. Yeah, it was just a bit of a shame. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
But before that, we have the scene where Ramsey, is that his name?
Ramsey. We have another Ramsey.
Where he approaches him, and Dodson legitimately looks like he's about to start crying. And for some reason, they have the can. I do understand why it's there, because it was Dodson who gave it to Nedry, and he incited the fall of Jurassic Park. But it didn't really need to be there.
Yeah.
I
I'm just
kind of liked it because it makes it a bit more obvious that it's the link to the Jurassic Park. And maybe a bit more clear to the audience that Dodson is related to Dennis Nedry in the first one. which obviously
Yeah, but they introduced
fans
it so
obviously know who he
late
is.
into the movie that's like not really relevant.
I don't think that's the way my audience interpreted it.
I personally would have preferred it if
I want to hear how did they interpret it?
So, oh, sorry, I wanted to finish my point first.
Go on.
Okay.
Sorry. Like, I personally would like... I probably would have preferred it if it was more of an Easter egg, rather than sort of being there. But I do understand why he did grab it when he died, because maybe it probably has quite a lot of personal... Or... What's the word?
It probably was like personal...
What's the word?
Attachment?
Sentimental
No.
value, that's it.
Sentimental value.
Anyway, sorry. I
Ah,
finished my
yes.
point now.
A beaten up, dirty can.
And it seems like we're going to get the backstory for it in season 5 of Camp Cretaceous, because it was in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's where
Wait,
I
there's a
saw
trailer?
it.
Yeah. We just didn't talk about it.
Sorry, and
Okay.
how did your audience interpret it then?
Of course, I don't actually know what they interpreted it. But when the can appeared, multiple people in the audience went, "Eee!" But I think the way my audience interpreted it was like, oh, this guy's got the can. Rather than, oh, he has the can because he gave it to Nedry.
Right.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
Oh.
It's up to interpretation.
And then he loses it again.
Yes.
Journey of the Can.
Because...
we need a Kenobi.
So we have our boating movie. We have our spy movie, and now we have Journey of the Can.
Yeah, we need like a Kenobi 6-part episode of just how the can travels.
It literally just follows the can.
Jurassic World Can.
Can.
I will say, in Dodson's death scene, I was expecting one of two things. Either for the pod to reactivate and for it to squish him, or for a Dimetrodon to come and get him.
Yeah, me too.
Because the amber mines.
Because I honestly thought that's what they were gonna go, because it's like, oh, he tried to kill Alan and Ellie in the amber mines with the Dimetrodons, but then no, because that's like cruel irony, because now he's the one getting killed by the ones. But then we get Dillo, which is also cool, because it's like,
there's a bit of
Dillo
poetic
just stares at him. He's like, he's just like, what's your thing? And then just spits on him.
No. He says to the Dino, "What's your story?" I'm not even joking. That is exactly what he said.
Really?
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't remember that bit, but that sounds so pathetic. but in the way with the Dillo, I guess that's sort of also poetic as well, because obviously you do have the dramatic irony with the Dimetrodon, but there's also, I don't know, his partner went out that way, he went out that way. So I feel like, again, that goes down to preference.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, it's a treat to see, the Dillos getting a little more thing.
Yeah.
I am happy. I am happy it was the Dinos. I'm just not that big of a fan of how it was filmed, because when all three of them were standing in like bright lights, it was very clear that they were just animatronics.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be a thing that I'll notice a bit more on my second viewing.
We'll have to wait and see, because it's like, it happened so quickly that it's like, I don't really think about, oh, it looks so fake or whatever.
So
I have something to say about Ramsey.
Go on.
Okay, this is funny. So when my mom was watching this movie, she looked at Ramsey and thought, "Is that Darius?"
That would be a very cool connection.
Yeah.
It obviously wouldn't make sense, because when did Dominion take?
He would not be that old.
No. He might. because Darius was like 11, 12 when 13 when Computations happened. So, so like 7 years, he's 20.
My age.
Oh.
Old man.
How would I? That's just like, my mind is broken now.
Like me after being Velociraptor chase.
No. I don't have a headache. Mine's just mush.
Blah, blah. Mind you, it's getting pretty
Like
late.
me after being Velociraptor chase. Okay, so before we get onto the final battle, I just want to take a second to talk about the Morals Intrepidus. When they were going through the lab, they mentioned that the Morals Intrepidus was 100% pure, implying that it wasn't adjusted.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have done that at all. Because it basically means they're just setting themselves up for the paleo, because the only defense they have is like, oh, well, they genetically modified everything, so of course it's not going to look paleo accurate. But if they say that just takes the gloves off, allowing the paleo community to just grab their pitchforks and say, the excuse is gone, get them!
I do get it that it seems like it because it looks exactly the same as it does in the prologue, but I don't. But it's not accurate.
Yeah, that big bugged me. I feel like, but it was such like just a throwaway line. I feel like they should have just not included it.
And also, we see it like 3 times throughout the movie.
Yeah, 3 times. Okay, once when the Giga was napping, there was a Moros right next to it.
Yeah,
then,
but that was. Yeah.
Then in that little room.
That wasn't in the actual movie.
No. It was in the movie.
Yes, it was.
Yes. And then there was also that scene where you mentioned earlier, where they actually mentioned it's 100%. And then at the end, at the little duck pond.
Which I'll talk about later because I've got something quite funny to say about it. We see it 3 times, and it's tiny. It's like a baby.
Yeah.
Because in real life, I believe a Morals Intrepidus. Also, I just want to say the translation of its name is like one of the best names. Period. Fully grown, I think it's like nearly as big as up to the shoulder of a grown person.
Oh dang, that's big. Okay, yeah, so yeah, definitely they dug their own grave when they said we have 100% accurate dinosaurs now.
I think it's time to talk about the final battle.
Yes.
Rexy was.
Who wants to go first?
Rexy. You guys go first. Oh, I'm tired. I want to go to sleep now.
Okay, I'll let Zane talk about it since he is funny.
All right, here I go.
That's a good excuse.
I do have it just feels kind of scripted in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh, it doesn't feel like it's like part of the plot. It just feels like it had to happen. It just has to happen because it's a Jurassic World movie and we have to give our T-Rex a purpose. Like, honestly, the Rexy is actually kind of irrelevant to the plot, really.
Yeah.
Aside from the Giga. Like, if you just had the Giga in the movie and you just removed all of Rexy's scenes, the movie could have still worked without Rexy. Even though, of course, you can't have a movie without the T-Rex. You know, you have to include it. So I understand. But then it's like, it just feels so scripted. Like, of course, Rexy just happens to be there, and the Giga just also happens to be there, and then they just start immediately throwing down. And yeah, it's a cool fight.
Hold on. They don't happen to be there. They were called there because of the procedure.
Okay, yeah, I suppose. But it's like, all the dinosaurs were there. So shouldn't that place just be, like, crowded with dinosaurs? Because the moment the fight begins, they're the only dinosaurs on screen until, you know, the Theory shows up.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't there a shot of like the dinosaurs like going into like some cage in a building from the outside?
Yeah, I remember them entering the building, something like that. It did look like they had like indoor enclosures, I think, or that's how I sort of interpreted it.
Also,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's actually the tie-in to Camp Cretaceous, the mind control.
And there isn't that much to say about it.
Actually, that is
Yeah.
true. Like, I thought it did cross my mind is how did they get all the dinosaurs to go back inside?
They
Because,
actually mentioned at the very
Yeah.
beginning that they can control the dinosaurs with mind control
Really?
or
Well-
something like that.
well, the way they justify it is that in a disastrous, they're able to call all the dinosaurs back because of the brain implants that shock them, that deliver them the message to return.
Execute Order 66. Yeah, I was sort of thinking, as you were talking through that, I was sort of thinking, right, what if, because do you know what I sort of do miss? Like, Rexy actually being, like...
The antagonist.
Yeah, because the only time we've had that is literally in the first film. Because in
Yeah.
second film, third film, she's not there. World, she saves the day. Fallen Kingdom, she's just sort of there, but I guess sort of saves them.
Every time Rexy is in the they actually actively have her helping the cast.
Yeah, I would have loved, honestly, come to think about it, if they just didn't have the Giga in it at all and just had Rexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
And then
That could've
replace,
worked.
the Giga with the bit when she's going after the cast with Rexy instead. And
then Rexy could breathe fire.
and that would have been a bit more of a link or a callback to the first film. But it might have been a little bit too on the nose. But I feel like because of the changes, the Giga sort of just feels a bit random.
Yeah.
Or a bit irrelevant. Or they tried so hard to force in a conflict between Rexy and Giga, but because there was just no screen time to it or anything, like they had a bit of a tuffle at the beginning, but you don't really see that as a rivalry. You just see it as just two animals just existing.
In short, we got the climax before the build-up, without the build-up, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then also sort of the fake out death, sort of was like, okay,
That's just a reference Rexy's moment in the opening where she collapses and her eye goes dead.
yeah.
This one's just oh, now it comes back to life. She's not dying this time. But again, without that prologue, it just doesn't work.
I will say, for Giga, it just destroyed Rexy. And when Rexy was laying there was 10 seconds where I started questioning if they actually killed her. Because she
Honestly,
wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Same thing, because it's what? No, they wouldn't, not like that. No.
Honestly, a part of
And then
me
it's we get the zoom in of the eye, okay, here we go. She's getting back up.
I mean, I sort of knew she would get back up, especially when they panned back to her, because I thought if she was going to die, that was very anticlimactic. Because if she was going to die, they were going to make it a very big thing. But a part of me sort of thinks that maybe they should have killed her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then, seeing how that went for Jurassic Park 3, they probably shouldn't have.
Rexy dying of a slow death after the battle is won, I do think would make this film feel more climactic.
Or a bit more conclusive as well.
Yeah.
Because, the Rexy, who was the first one, finally, that's it for her. But this is where I feel again, what I was sort of saying earlier, honestly, scrap the Giga, just have the T-Rex there.
Yeah.
Being her old self, and then she does slowly die at the end, and then I feel like that would be really conclusive from the first movie all the way to this one. But again, a lot of people might not like that, might want Rexy alive.
Yeah.
And then also,
Yeah.
because I do like the Giga as well. I do it probably would have been more of I would have preferred Giga over Indominus or Indoraptor in the other films.
I will say, Giganotosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, but I do kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
And then, the Theory.
Okay. I really liked when the Pharaoh took on the Giga solo.
Then Rexy gets up,
Yeah, I
They're both-
knew
they-
I knew it, I didn't have it spoiled, but I think it's because I was watching some of the Lego unboxing. I knew the ferry was going to be there.
I kind of just thought it was the case of the Pyroraptor and the Dillo, where it's just like,
Yeah.
we just could. We don't really want to put this. We don't want to give them their separate things. Just throw them in to the big price, so we don't have to waste Legos on this really expensive building.
Yeah, but mind you, they have sort
Have
of
a tiny
spoiled the
tower
ending
and two
before.
massive dinosaurs.
But it was like, I mean, again, it was just at the back of my mind. I didn't really think about it, but as soon as she turned up, I thought, oh, I think I know how the gig is going to go out. I mean, initially I thought it was going to be like the first one where Blue and Rexy teamed up against Indominus, which I thought, oh no, please don't have like the tag team like bite.
To be honest, I would have preferred it if it was kind of like a tag team. Like the Giga turns to Rexy, bah! The Giga turns to the Farah.
I don't know. I personally wouldn't. I'd prefer it as how they deal with it. But actually, come to think about it, I swear the Giga and the T-Rex didn't fight for very long. If it went really short, for me, it felt really short. Like comparing to like the last scene of Indominus Rex and Blue versus Rex.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was like a good like few minutes of them having a tussle. You know, whereas this, it went really short. Like if they were doing this big battle, I feel like it should have lasted a bit longer than it did.
And you also don't see most of the fight because you're focusing on the characters.
Yeah. Like, although the first one technically... Sorry.
My brother actually complained about that.
I'm fine.
He wanted to see the fight.
It.
But it was like... But they did it... They made it work in the first one. Like, in the first one, they had moments when they were focusing on the characters, then trying to avoid the actual fight. But they had enough screen time showing them actually battling.
Yeah.
And... Yeah, but I feel like, the battle, or them battling the shots were just a bit too short. Like, especially Rexy went down quite quickly.
Yeah.
I would have personally liked a few more minutes of them fighting.
I personally find the Giga's death quite anticlimactic. Because the T-Rex just pushes the Giga onto the ferry's claws.
Yeah.
I would have liked it if we had more time with all three of them before that happened.
Yes, same.
Yeah, like if they were going to go in that direction, which obviously they did, I would have preferred it if like Rexy sort of fully did a kill in a way, like obviously went for the throat, it went down sort of thing, rather than just pushing it into claws like, you know.
Barry just looked so confused after.
And now, Rexy has made a first friend.
Well, no. Blue. Remember that knowing nod at the end of the first one? It was like, they looked at each other like, nodded, and then they went off their separate ways.
I think someone justified that as Blue was trying to like stay still and act like imitating the sound of broken debris so that Rexy would just leave her alone or something, but I don't know.
I feel that's way too smart even for Blue.
The way I interpreted it was basically them just looking at each other, but basically just thinking, nah, this ain't worth us fighting.
Honestly, yeah, that's because the T-Rex just limps away after.
Yeah, I mean, even then,
Blue
can easily outrun her.
So,
outmaneuver her.
So, even then, Rexy made our best friend.
Yes.
Da-da-da.
They even have they have a victory roar together.
Like, no joke, once I get the Hammond Collection T-Rex, and when they eventually make a Hammond Collection Therizinosaurus, I am going to display them together up there.
Holding hands.
As far as I'm concerned, they're best friends.
They're just high-fiving.
I would want to see like a skit on Zane's channel about that.
I find it a bit ironic in terms of their arms. T-Rex has too little of an arm, and the Theri has too much of an arm.
The Therizinosaurus can pat Rexy's head.
Yeah. I just got my nails done. Oh my god, the Theri comes out with painted nails.
Honestly, like as much as I
They go
feel,
to a shopping mall. they're just hanging out as all the people around them are just screaming.
Oh.
I just
the family
love
just starts.
I just love the difference. Like two friends hanging out, everybody screaming.
You know, Rexy needs a
just-
manicure. She's got to go to makeup. She's got to get her lipstick done. You know,
Barry
Rexy
just grabs-
deserves a pedicure. No matter
Barry
what
just
she's
goes to each person screaming and just starts stabbing each one of them,
Oh.
and then says to Rexy, "Have a kebab."
done.
No.
That's right.
I legitimately just like the idea of just like Rexy and the Persianosaurus just talking to each other as everybody around them in the shopping mall just screams and runs.
Rexy with like a handbag going, where should we visit? Should we go to the cheeky, should we go to the pancake? Oh, we have a pancake or something. Oh, maybe. Literally, just a girlfriend day out, that's what that is.
And then the
Okay.
Giga is just like, I got it. I figured it out. The Giga didn't want to kill Rexy. The Giga was just mad that the Rexy and the Theory wouldn't let him join.
He wanted to join the friend circle.
But they wouldn't let him.
Oh. Ew, stinky boy.
I found the Giga's death quite anticlimactic, but however, the shot afterwards of the T-Rex and the Persianosaurus, when they confirm their eternal friendship with the lightning striking the background, is so absurd. I love it.
Same here, honestly.
Best of friends.
And ironically, the best relationship in this franchise.
Yeah.
I unironically care more about Rexy's and the Persianosaurus' friendship than any other relationship in the history of this franchise. I'm not even being ironic.
The what? Not even like the main human characters.
Especially them. So, is there any more to say about the Thera and the T-Rex?
Only that I love their friendship, but I hate how they murdered the Giga.
Okay, so
Hashtag the Giga is innocent.
moving on from that, we have the wrap-up, where Alan and Ellie get together and they go off and do whatever.
Have 5 more kids. Or maybe they're a bit older for that, actually.
I don't think they said what Ian is doing.
I feel like he's just going
Ian's
to carry
just-
on to what he's been doing, like going around the world saying, dinosaurs are going to cause chaos. It's going to be the extinction of humanity.
I would have preferred the ending if there was like zero narration, and instead it just relied on like the visuals and the characters and the music. Because I might be jumping a bit here, but I'm only jumping to the the parts that I care about. We have the Woo segment, which we've already talked about,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and then there's the big moment. The only bit of a character arc Owen gets throughout the entirety of this trilogy is how they ended with Blue. Because
Oh, I completely forgot about Blue and Beta.
Because in Jurassic World, after the battle, Blue wanted to like go with Owen, but Owen said no, and she ran off all sad. In Fallen Kingdom, Owen wanted Blue to come with him. Don't you dare make a joke about Orca. He can't be bothered. Blue leaves Owen sad. But however, Dominion ends with them separating, both satisfied.
To be honest, I thought Beta and Blue were going to be a bit more of a thing in this film.
I thought Beta was going to be more of a thing, but I just completely forgot she existed.
Yeah. I mean, I think the film forgets she existed, and then they're like, hang on, oh no, we need to pick up Beta, there we go.
But it makes sense because Owen's main concern is his daughter.
To be honest, I was kind of expecting them to, like, kind of force Blue into the Biosyn Valley so they could have a moment between Blue and the Pyroraptor, but no, that never happens. Okay, I've got 2 more things to say about this ending, which is,
Something about the morals?
yes, because when Alan and Ellie are talking, there's this little kid in the background, like, playing around with the morals.
Feeding it out of her hand.
But however, it goes out of focus as, like, Alan and Ellie talk for like 2 minutes, and it still looked like that the morals was eaten out of the girl's hand. It got to a point where I was going, is the morals just eating the girl's hand, and she just doesn't care? But they go back into focus, and the girl is just petting it.
Oh, she's just not been eaten alive then. So what? Yeah, there was just narration, and then we just saw dinosaurs. What did they say in the narration?
Hang on. There's one more thing.
Go on.
The T-Rexes.
Yes. My question is, where did the Sornorexes come from?
And what? It's just like yeah, just where?
I mean, like, even Ramsey says to Grant and Ellie, we have the T-Rex. Talking about it like it's the only T-Rex. But no, they've got 3.
Yeah.
The movie started with Rexy having 0 friends, and it ended with her having 3.
4. No, 3, yeah.
Our squad!
No, you can count. I can't
You
count.
got Rexy, Buck, Doe,
Ferry!
But that's actually interesting. We've never actually seen Rexy, the Buck, and Doe actually, like, all together.
Yeah, because Rexy has never seen another T-Rex before.
Yeah.
She's
I
never...
really want to see how that turns out. I feel like we should have had at least a little more on that. Rather than just, peaceful waterfall shot. No, I want to see more. I have to ask, where is Junior? Are they basically confirming that Junior was in Jurassic Park 3?
I don't know.
Like, in Camp Cretaceous Season 4, we're asking, where's the Buck? And now we're here. Where's Junior?
Oh, yeah.
Because the Doe and Buck appearing here pretty much debunks my theory that the T-Rexes in Camp Cretaceous Season 4 are the Doe and its baby.
Yeah. Which means we're back on the table for my theory. This is Junior's family. But Junior's just missing.
Or maybe they're just not related.
Well, yeah. But I'm still going to try and go for that connection.
But hey, that's just a theory. A Jurassic theory. Thanks for watching.
So, the last thing I want to say about this ending is the final shot. I thought it was going to be of Blue, because the Velociraptor was the first ever dinosaur we saw in this franchise. But no. It was a shot of the Sinoceratops, with the sun in the background.
Oh, with the elephants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, it was a beautiful shot.
But not
But
the
it's like,
But not the last
really?
one of the dinosaurs.
That's where you want to end your trilogy?
Well, what's the 6 hexagonology?
That's where you want to end your hexology?
Hexology.
I really think that's why this kind of like ties into the fact that this really isn't an ending.
It's just a beginning.
It's the ending of something old and the beginning of something new.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna do a Star Wars and do a sequel series that's gonna be really bad.
I will say,
Shudder. It's insane.
So, that's it. That's Jurassic World Dominion.
It's only taken us like 3.5 hours to cover it all.
Longer than the actual movie.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna go to sleep now. Night night.
It does have issues. My main issue is the pacing, and I would have preferred it if they cut out some action scenes and gave more time to the characters. It's not for everybody. I definitely see why critics despise it. But I like it. I will have to see it again to actually rank it, but it is one of my favorite Jurassic movies.
I too have issues. Mainly the Mosa's ending. That's just and also the Giga's death not being deserved because it's like did nothing wrong. And then, but then those are the lowest moments for me. Everything else is just really just a nitpick. But then the highlights of this movie just really outweigh it for me. So great movie, absolutely loved it. Loved the action sequence, especially the Malta. I cannot wait to just watch that on repeat forever. I do mean forever.
Orca just looks like he's done.
I'm really tired. Honestly, I want to go to bed now.
Okay, Orca, what do you gotta say?
Yeah, no, I liked it. The beginning, the first half was quite solid. The second half fell off, but I usually wouldn't mind so much. But it's a bit more disappointing because it's supposed to be not only the finale of the film, but also sort of the finale of the
characters.
Yeah, or this trilogy at least. Maybe this hexalogy. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. But when you want when it all ends, you sort of want it tied up really nice. Well, just to have it a fantastic ending. But
and that's why this isn't the end.
True.
Again,
I probably obviously need to watch it more than once. Because obviously the first time I'm going to be a bit like awe-inspired, like oh wow, and also like I'm half distracted because I don't really like cinemas. It's just other people. I'm aware of it, and I can't always get immersed in the movie. Like to be honest, I just couldn't really hear much of stuff that was going on because although it's all surround sound, it just feels like it's all boosted. So even like some of the when they were whispering, I couldn't really hear it. It was just shh, sort of thing. So I would really want to listen more to subtle sound effects and music and actual hearing fully what the people are saying and get fully immersed into the story, and then maybe I can come up with a bit more of a opinion or understand it better.
I can't wait to see what else they do with this franchise because I want so much out of it now. I mean, like, I want multiple TV shows. I want multiple smaller scale movies.
I've already mentioned what I want: the Mosa movie, the Atrociraptor movie,
and the main movies for following whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, we cannot forget the most important installment: the can.
Yes, the can.
We need a movie about the can.
The can. Can the can?
I will say I do like Carnivorous. I do respect him. I am kind of happy that it seems like he's taken a step back after this movie.
That's fair.
He's had his fun. He got what he wanted to do. Some people loved it. Some people didn't like it. He accomplished what he wanted.
Didn't he direct all 3 movies?
No. J.A. Bayona made Fallen Kingdom.
But yeah, I'm sort of hoping they don't do I do want more content, but I want more content sort of like how Star Wars does it, of just exploring different aspects. Like, I don't want to look at different specific characters because the characters are sort of the weakest point in this franchise.
Keep in mind, I'm pitching brand new characters made by different people because yes, I like and respect Carnivorous. I just want new voices in this franchise.
New characters, really, yeah. New characterization. Like, yeah, I want, that's sort of what I want. Like, new stories in the same dinosaur world, and I do like how it's ended with just dinosaurs having to, like, just naturally exist and having to coexist, which sort of makes sense, because they can't really make it a feasible way to wipe them all out, without being very cartoony. But yeah, I just hope they don't really just make another park.
Well, they literally can't. Dinosaurs are all over the world.
I want to see more.
Yeah, but they could easily just make up some sort of, I don't know, like retcon or something.
Reboot it.
Jurassic Galaxy. Here we go.
No. I mean, like, I've seen quite a few people saying that at this point, they should just like remake the original Jurassic Park. I'm like, no, just no.
That's a terrible idea.
We have gotten to this really interesting point where they can do wherever they want. Why do you want to go back to the beginning?
Also, we sort of already had 2 Jurassic Parks. We had the first one and then Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want another Jurassic Park. I want, as I agree with you, we have such an interesting world now. I want
expand upon it.
Exactly. I want stories like even if it's a story just not about one creature with just a few creatures in the background. That would be cool. Like literally a story just focusing on the Mosa. I don't know, the title just Mosasaurus.
Yes, Jurassic World, Mosasaurus.
No, it won't even be called Jurassic World because that's a part of a trilogy. It'll literally just be called Jurassic Mosasaurus, or maybe Jurassic.
From the creators of Jurassic World, Mosasaurus.
Exactly.
And also, I just really hope we don't get another giant theropod battle ever again.
That is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like they were fun while they were here, but I've kind of gotten sick of them.
No, they're going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see 2 giant theropods fight each other. I want to see 2 giant theropods work together, maybe.
I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I want to see something a bit more interesting, something we haven't seen before. But the casual audience they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
That's actually a really funny twist idea. Like, oh, it looks like they're gonna fight, but then they just turn towards the characters and like,
Land of the Lost.
Yes.
I hate that movie, and that's the only thing I took away from it.
Anyway, that's it.
Yep.
I would like to wrap this up. I'm done.
So Orca, any last words? You're over here. That's right.
You looked at me.
Sorry, Orca. Any last words?
Aren't you always the last one to say the last words?
Okay, fine. Indominus, any last words?
Wait until we come back in like a month and talk about Camp Cretaceous Season 5.
Oh boy.
Zane, do you have any last words?
Hashtag save the Giga.
Me and Mosasaurus, we go way back. We are best friends.
I want a movie about the friendship between Rexy and the Thera.
Me too. I need this in my life.
And I want to...
Well, you can make it!
Yes! Yes, I can! Okay, guys. That's about it. I think we've talked up to the point where we're all tired or starving.
Thank you all so much for watching. Here has been Indominus01 and...
Zane Reborn, and...
You pointed the wrong way again, it's...
Did I point the wrong way again?
Yeah.
I've been looking the wrong way constantly throughout this podcast.
Towards your light source. Well, what was your light source? Now
I've
it's
got
above you.
2! I can have 3 if I want.
That doesn't help the situation.
Roar into the... Actually, did you say your words?
You get... Well, my words are, you're looking the wrong way.
Did you say your last words?
No, hello, you're looking the right way. Finally, we can talk in... Oh, I'm done. Alright, this is it. Goodbye.
Bye, hello.
Kai,